Happy Tuesday, happy C3 day. It's First Look. Welcome, everybody. We're excited to be here. It's your panel, as always. You know us very well at this point in the season, right? We've got Nate Flamingo, Araf Beast, and myself, Bearlight. Let's get into the topics right now. For week number 5 is what we got on the table here. Guys, got to talk about the past, obviously, last week. Some recency happening over here, so I want to get your takes. What are some of the takeaways that you guys had? Let's start with you, Nate. What you got from week 4?
I mean, I think the biggest thing we were talking about a little bit before the show is definitely going to be the absolute dominant showing from UNCG over Clemson. Clemson not able to take a single game off in that series, and Greensboro just looking like a whole different team compared to last season.
Greensboro looked insane there too, Flamingo. Yeah. So what's your takeaways?
Coastal winning 3-1 on Wake Tech. Did not see that one coming, honestly. They moved to 4-0 on the season as well. Also didn't see that happening. But I mean that's a huge one for me.
Greensboro, the real deal in your eyes?
I think Greensboro's super strong, but I also think Coastal's Coastal went out 4-0 somehow, I'm gonna be honest. And then Greensboro I think is one of the stronger teams as they showed because that 3-0 over Clemson was just insane.
Yeah, it wasn't just like close matchups either. It was kind of like dominant. So, dude, I'm with you, man. Arab Beast, what's up, buddy? Welcome. And what were your key takeaways, man?
I'm not gonna lie, Nate kind of stole mine. Mine was gonna be the UNC Greensboro game, but to be honest, I think this one's a little bit more. So I think you're a little more familiar with this one, Bearlight. Just a couple of, I guess you say, unexpected things that were happening on the B stream. It was very interesting to watch all the teams play. I think there was the Elon versus NC A&T game. That one kind of caught me off guard. I remember watching it with you. That was honestly a very, very solid game from Elon. A very solid series from Elon. That probably wasn't even in my books.
I honestly thought NCAA would be able to take more than just one game, so that was pretty nuts in my eyes to it. Hey, let's look at the standings right now, see where all the teams are currently. Around the horn we go again to Nate. What are some of the things that are standing out to you? We mentioned some obvious ones, so obviously like Coastal up top, and you've got UNCG that's looking really hot. What else stands out for you?
Realistically, my Seahawks hanging on by a thread over here. They gotta find a way to clutch up here. I'm getting a little nervous with them dropping down. They're still maintaining their position. I noticed some of the standings are a little bit different compared to Wikipedia, so it looks like a lot of different standings they're showcasing. But no, I believe we're tied with Winthrop in their position technically. So we just got to keep playing on. We got to hang on. Don't drop. You got to crawl for your own land. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I mean, but they're like 3-1, so you obviously have sky high expectations. Like, what else could they be doing to kind of keep themselves there?
Um, just win. just don't lose another game. The moment you lose another one, your chances just drop drastically.
Welcome to First Look, where you get all the hottest insight. Guys, write that down. Win games. That's how you stay afloat. Air off. What? All right, back to you, man. Let's hear your takes here in the standings. What stands out to you, man? Whether it be top or button, doesn't matter.
Oh boy, this one's actually, I'm looking both at Wikipedia and the one on stream here. But my biggest thing is Coastal Carolina still the top 4 team here. They're at the number 2 spot on the standings here. And even if you look over at the Wikipedia page, I do believe they are also at the number 2 spot as well. I don't think any of us probably saw them still going undefeated up to this point. The only other team up there with them is the University of South Carolina, our reigning champions. And to be honest, Coastal Carolina, kudos to them, but honestly, the rest of the season is going to get very, very scary and very, very tough for them.
Yeah, I want to see. I agree with you. The thing I'm looking at is like Chapel Hill at 0-4, have only won one game. Like, I feel like they're better than that. Weren't they close, guys, to making land last time? They just fell a little bit short, or am I getting that wrong? I'm pretty sure they were.
I think I think they were like a game off or is a tiebreaker or something like that.
Yeah, so I really want to see them kind of turn it around, man. Like, that seems to be a struggle for them this year. We'll see if they do get that turnaround now. Which brings us into hot takes. Hot takes. What are some of the things that maybe others would be like, dude, you're crazy, right? What hot takes do you have, Nate?
I think Coastal deserves it. I think they deserve to be there. They put in a lot of work. They've gotten a lot better since the last time I've seen it. Some people might say their opponents weren't that hard, but they got an upset. They're 3-0, or they got a 3-0, 3-1, 3-1, and an upset. So I mean, I think they deserve it. All right, and I think they qual top 4. I think they can do it. Top 4. I think they qual.
There's where the hot take is, because I think they had I certainly thought they were going to make land, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if top 4 is there. Flamingo, what's your thought on that before you get yours?
I think they make land. I don't think they qual top 4 though. But I think Nate's a little in over his head a bit. But my hot take, which Nate's gonna love this one. I think Wilmington will not make land, and I think there's a very good chance that they lose this week as well to Chapel Hill.
Not if they win games, though. You know what I'm saying? Write that down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they win, I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, if you win the game, you go to land. So
If you score more goals than your opponent, then you're good to go.
yeah, that's what they got to do.
Araf, what you got? What you got, buddy?
This one's, I don't think it's as hot of a take, but I think this is one that's going to be very interesting. I think UNC Asheville might turn around and dark horse this entire thing to go top 8. They're currently at the number 9 spot. I don't think anybody's talking about them right now, but to be honest, kind of scary there. And Nate, if they get the victory this week and UC Wilmington goes down in the standings, and UNC Asheville already up there in the top 8, all they got to do is stick around and stay in that top 8, and they'll be on land.
That's a true statement. All right, that's a true statement. So I'm gonna be honest. With us having to play NC State next week and then playing Wake Tech, I'm still pretty confident we can at least qual in the 8th position. But I just waiting, guys. Even Crazy Shark said in the chat, we're 0-4 because they're the biggest choke artists. All right, so I'm feeling pretty confident in our ability to win today.
All right. Cool. Now we've gone around. Dude, honestly, my hot take is got to be that, I don't want to say it. They're going to be so mad. I don't think Niners Esports wins tonight. I don't. I think Clemson comes back. It's a rematch from what we saw this past weekend. It went to overtime, game number 5. Like, I really think that Clemson has a decent shot. I think they're mad enough to be able to kind of jump out and get that win. What are your guys' thoughts?
I guess I'll go first. I think Clemson wins. I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody they had a roster change. Beans is no longer the starter for today. They're playing with Pasta, who's kind of coming up from their sub position and taking that starter role over Beans. So from what I know, Pasta is a pretty mechanical player. It's just gonna be a matter of if he's on or not. I haven't seen them play with him since last season, and last season they did pretty well with him. So I picked Clemson winning today. I think they can bounce back from their loss at Land this past weekend.
Right. Flamingo, Aroff, we're going to hold
Bala's
off
on
that one. Wait, is that a thing?
Bala's not playing, apparently, according to Knight's mom.
Well, then that's why I said it, Knight's mom. And welcome to the stream, by the way. Good to see you, friends. So we'll hold off on your guys' takes, and we'll get into like the stream matchups as well. So we'll kind of hold off on that. Let's go ahead and go into the teams to watch this week. And we just heard from Nate, so let's actually go to Flamingo first. What teams are you watching this week?
I was gonna say Charlotte, but I'll pick a different one just for sake. Well, I'll say Wilmington just because this is a very key match for them to see if they can make top 8. If they lose this, then Asheville wins, like Ralph was saying. They get into a very precarious situation with their next 2 games after this week. So I think a lot of eyes are going to be on that Wilmington Chapel Hill matchup.
Aroff, who are you looking at?
This one's going back a little bit towards that Clemson series last week. It's going to be UNC Greensboro that we've got to watch a little bit closer this week because, if I'm not mistaken, they do have ECU, so that's going to be a good series for them. But at the same time, the way that they adjust after coming off that sweep from Clemson, just absolutely almost putting Clemson into the dirt there in week 4. If they can do it in week 5, prove that wasn't a fluke there against Clemson, then they're probably going to make a possible top 4 run here if they can win this week.
Awesome. Okay. I can get behind it. All right, Nate, you're up, buddy.
For teams to watch?
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
I think, realistically, Let's see here. I want to see if one of the either Wake Tech or High Point can bounce back. That's where I'm sitting. It's not on stream, sadly, but that'd be a really good one. Both these teams are kind of down in the drought a little bit, so I think one of those would I think especially Wake Tech, if they can bounce that one around, it can kind of generate some momentum for their season. If not, I think we know, gotta watch CCU, watch Coastal Carolina.
All right. We're vibing. We're aligned, dude. We're aligned. I was gonna say Wake Tech as well because like they've had a tough start to the season as well. So they played Winthrop, for example. That was week 2. Then we talk about the next week. It was they played NC State super close. It literally went to 5 and they lost. So that set us up for like, hey, they're for sure gonna beat Coastal Carolina. Like all of us were sitting here literally last week being like, they are going to beat Coastal Carolina. And then lost 3-1. So like that was their only like moment this year that we're like, oh, like maybe they're not who they are. But with the matchup against High Point, I think that's a good chance to bounce back. UNCA, no offense, Flamingo, but that is winnable. They have an opportunity, so they could bounce back. And then they finish the season with UNCW. So I get to take a shot at both Date and Flamingo. So that's very doable. I think Wake Tech actually has that opportunity to win. Arof, do you see this as the case too? Wake Tech?
Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting one. I know the Wake Tech boys definitely want that win. I've seen them. I saw them with you. I think a little bit last week. That was a very unfortunate series against Coastal, if I'm not mistaken. But at the same time, it just depends on how they continue to adjust to the rest of the week. They definitely aren't too happy with that 1-3 start. But to be honest, there's gonna be a long way to go for them. And Wake Tech going, it's just gonna be interesting to see what they do, because if they can bounce back, they probably could turn around and clinch it.
All right, Nate, I want to ask you this because you were there this past weekend where we got to see some of these teams live. USC did not make it to the grand finals. They lost to a team from Virginia, and then that team lost poorly, like a 0-4 against the Niners esports team. So I'm wondering, like, what happened with USC? Do you have any insider knowledge?
Played with
what
a
are your
sub.
thoughts on it? Okay.
Turnip was not there. Their main demo gremlin was not there for that play. And although they had somebody who was around similar skill, I got a little bit of an inside scoop after that. And he realized, it's just a lot of work. And Turnip is a very strong player and fits really well into that as a cog in that machine. So I think if Turnip was there, it would have been a very different weekend. So I think they can turn it around, especially with Turnip on board.
All right, cool enough. Love T-Man, by the way. I got to see him compete, and that was a lot of fun. Lots of demos. Lots of non-mechanical goals, though. Like, you look like Turbo Pulse out there, in my opinion. So, didn't want to knock him. But, anyways, let's move on. Week 5 expectations. Let's get into some of that. Before we get into the actual like stream matchups, are there any ones that are maybe off or on stream that you're looking at here? What are some of the expectations that we have for this week? Nate, I'll go right back to you, man.
Honestly, if you want me, I can just go down the list and just give you what I think's gonna happen.
Oh, shoot. Quick fire. All
right. Asheville Elon 3-0, Winthrop A&T 3-0, Greensboro ECU 3-0. I think UNCW UNC 3-1. Wake Tech High Point. I think it could maybe go 3-1 game 5, maybe 3-2 Wake Tech's way. USC CIU. Honestly, I'm going to say 3-1 because USC can get a little trolly when they're in the lead. Clemson, Charlotte. I think Clemson, Game 5 is that one, wins it. And, of course, CCU, Game 5, NC State.
Were you guys paying attention? Did you guys write that down?
What is Nate on about?
What are you thinking, Flamingo?
I agree with a lot of them except the final two. I think Charlotte will still win, and I don't know what dude is feeling with CC. I think honestly it's going to be like a 3-0 or a 3-1 for NC State.
Arif, I want you to get in the mix on that one in particular. NC State.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, it's gonna be NC State taking that one easy. I think it's actually probably gonna be a little bit close. We saw NC State having to go to 5 against Wake Tech, but I think if they lock the heck in here, it's gonna be a 3-1 here. Could be a sweep if NC State really locks in, but Coastal Carolina, it's gonna be a tough one for them. They haven't really had they haven't really had any tough matchups that they have, but I think this might be the first week that they're gonna have a loss.
All right, we'll check it out and see. That's going to be at 10 p.m. by the way. It'll be the fourth matchup if I'm not mistaken. That's what we have there. So now that we've gotten all of your opinions on that particular match, we'll start there. Twitter says NC State will win as well. So they're with you, buddy, and Flamingo.
Hey, it
so-
said Coastal at some point. All right.
I think whatever Nate thinks, like the rest of the Twitter world's like, let's do the opposite. Like I'm pretty sure. Let's go back to the 7 o'clock game. We've got the first one on stream on the main channel here, where you are currently. UNCW facing off with UNC Tar Heels. We already heard from Nate. We'll go to Flamingo first for this one.
I think Wilmington will win. Honestly, I would love to see an upset, but I think Wilmington's gonna win.
You have a scoreline for us?
Ooh, 3-1 Wilmington.
3-1 Wilmington. ARF, you're up.
I don't think anybody really agrees with me on this. I don't think even Twitter agrees with me. This is the only one that's different. This is gonna be a UNC Chapel Hill win against UNC Wilmington. I'm sorry, Nate, but I mean this may go to 5 here, but I think it's gonna be UNC Chapel Hill. They're gonna get their first win in the season. It's gonna be against the one and only UNC Wilmington.
Whoa.
You say I'm tweaking.
Yeah. No, hot takes was like a few topics ago. Why are we just bringing this up now? What makes you believe in UNC? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, first of all, it's how they played against UNC Charlotte a little bit. It was a little bit earlier in the season, but at the same time, UNC Charlotte, they took care of business, but UNC Chapel Hill still played a really, really solid series against them. And to be honest, I can see a little bit of the potential in Chapel Hill here.
Or hey, we'll track them and see. Like crazier things have happened before. I don't know, but I got to go with Wilmington. I think I have them 3-1 at very best for Chapel Hill there. I want to see them turn it around, and like I don't think they should be at 0-4 for what it's worth, but like I legit I don't know if this is the week. Maybe they turn around next week, which would probably be too late. It certainly would be too late, but maybe because it's all on the line. Who knows? Maybe that does work out. But Twitter agrees with everybody else. So Aroff, you're right. It's 75% in Wilmington and 25% for UNC. So probably expected. I even think that UNC number is a little bit high in my opinion. But we go on to the next matchup. It is the 8 o'clock one. Clemson versus Niner Esports. There's so many things to factor in. We heard Nate's breakdown. If Ball is not playing, this might change everything. So Flamingo, what are your thoughts on that situation? And what would the final score be?
So I was thinking this was going to be a 3-0 for the Niners. But now that Ball is out, I think it'll be like a 3-2 or a 3-1. But I still think the Niners will win. They're just too strong.
All right, air off.
I think this is one thing I don't think a lot of people may consider. Usually, whenever you take one player out, you kind of don't see the same results, but at the same time, if you still have a good substitute in there, it's still going to be a crazy game. I think there may be a game going to Clemson, but it's going to be a win from the Niners regardless of if Ball is there or not. It's just the synergy from everybody else. Once you take one person out, it's still going to be a great Niner squad that you've got to go against if you're Clemson.
Nate, I'm going to give you a chance to rebuttal because I'm not sure if your prediction happened before or after Bala. So your thoughts now.
I still think Clemson wins. Yeah, I had it before Bala. Even with Bala there, I think Clemson wins.
I was about to ask, does it make it worse? You know what I mean? Like, what's your new
I still think it
score?
goes 5. I mean, Dead Devil's a good player, but it's just he's no Bala. Let's be honest. So I think it kind of evens out the chances with Pasta coming on board as a kind of a not new but fresh into this season with his team, and with Bala not being there, it kind of evens the playing field a little bit.
I feel bad, man. Like literally, Niners Esports that's my alma mater, and yet I'm actually gonna be the harshest on them. I really think it's gonna be like a 3-1, and I think Clemson's gonna take it. But me and Nate agree that Clemson is gonna be on the winning side of things, but of course Twitter does not. But Twitter didn't know either, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It was 75% to Clemson's 25%, so it is what it is. 9 o'clock game. We got UNCG facing off with ECU Pirates. Same order. So Flamingo, I'll go to you first.
3-0 Greensboro.
3-0. Easy enough. Air off.
Yeah, 3-0. Greensboro, excuse me, is a very good squad. I haven't really seen a lot out of ECU so far, so wouldn't be surprised if UNC Greensboro takes this one.
You know, you always love to see an underdog story. Unfortunately, that is not one of these weeks. You're right. I think it's going to be 3-0 here for the Spartans as well, and that's Nate's prediction also. This might be the first time on First Look history that all 4 of us agree, and so does Twitter. 75% for the UNCG Spartans, to ECU Pirates, 25% there. So that's crazy. We've got a couple side stream matches as well. Me and Aeroff will be on the B stream, by the way. You can come check it out. If you have not already, this is your time. Please copy the URL if you're watching the stream right now. Open another tab in your browser and go ahead and add a 2 to that. C3 Esports League 2. Next, go follow. Press the button. Now, you know you want to. Please. You can support the channel, see more games. Everybody's a winner. So that's where that's happening right now. First matchup on that channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Winthrop Gold is going to be facing off with UNCGB. So we're going to dive into the open division, by the way. Do you guys have opinions on these? First and foremost, I want to ask you if you've even thought about these yet.
Want me to go?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I believe the open game tonight was also Greensboro versus Winthrop, and I believe after I was looking at their standing, one of the games is still verifying, so it could be a little bit off. But these are relatively similar skilled teams. Okay, so I think it's gonna be a game 5, but I'm going to give it to Winthrop because that's actually going to be some of the players playing on that we saw this past weekend, and they looked pretty solid.
Yeah, plus they're coming off of the land buzz. Like that's a real thing. You like go back and you're like, yo, you get hyped about Rocket League again. Like it's a real vibe, at least in my eyes. Like that's how I feel. Flamingo, what's your thought on that?
I've actually played against some of these Winthrop boys before, and they're very, very good. So I think Winthrop will win it.
Winthrop wins. I'm not gonna ask exact scores because it could be tough, but if you have one, just toss out.
I'll go 3-1. I'll go 3-1.
All right. Aeroff, Winthrop Gold, UNCGB.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a tough one because I've not really been able to have as much of a chance to look into open, but I think Winthrop might take this one 3-1.
I'm going with the land buzz as well. I think Winthrop's gonna win. So this is the second time in first look history. Twitter's got Winthrop Gold 90.9% in favor of them over 9.1% UNCGB. To Nate's point, I feel like it's gonna be a lot closer than that. You know what I mean? I think it's just people see Winthrop and I'm like, all right, click, right? That's my theory. We got to hurry up. We got like 2 minutes before matches start, so we got the last one. It's UNC Asheville facing off with Elon Esports in the Premier Division on the side stream. So that'll be a good one too. I'm excited for. Guys, we'll go around the horn super quick, starting with Flamingo.
3-0 Asheville.
3-0 Asheville.
3-0 Asheville.
Aeroff.
I think it'll be a tough one. Yeah, 3-1. Asheville as well.
3-0, and Nate, you said 3-0 as well, right?
Yes.
Across the board, 3-0 again. We did it 3 times in a row, boys. UNC Asheville,
Third time's the charm.
90.9%, and Elon Esports, 9.1%. But the only way that you find out is by keeping it on this channel and opening up the second tab as well. That's where we'll be. Make sure you stick around after this quick break. C3 Week 5 kicks off. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about you, girl. I've been stuck in my head and I don't know what to do. How do you feel about me? How do you feel about me, girl? It's how we used to be. It's how we used to be.
Haven't seen your face in 2 months. Now I've done shit not just once. Yeah, do you notice me anymore? Girl, you know we've been here before. Girl, quit the act and live with me. And we both know it's no secret now. You got my head on the ground, oh, you got it all. Can't you see? You weren't made for me. You weren't made for me at all. Give it up, 'cause I know that you're not satisfied at all. Can we talk about the way that you just pushed me against the wall? Said enough, 'cause I know you like to lie to me, girl. 'Cause I just wanna know, 'cause I just wanna know. I just wanna know.
How do you feel about me? How do you feel about me, girl?
I just wanna know.
It's how we used to be. It's how we used to be.
The world around me can't contain it. The feeling just takes over me. Got me hooked and I'm addicted. You set me free.
Welcome to the C3 Esports League. It's standard game night here on a beautiful Tuesday. I'm McMaster. Alongside me is Colson. And tonight we're going to be leading off week 5 with UNCW and UNC Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill, unfortunately, not having the season that they are looking to start off with so far, while on the other side of things, Wilmington kind of hovering around that 8th seed or so, looking to establish themselves a little bit further as a playoff team. Colson, Chapel Hill would love to get things going, but against Wilmington, it's a bit of a steep hill that they're trying to climb.
Absolutely is a steep hill, especially with, I'm going to point to the one guy that I know will hold down this Seahawks squad, and that will be Reticle. Reticle has played absolutely phenomenal. He's a veteran, and he is so good for a reason. He might not have the highest skill ceiling like his teammates do, but he is unbelievably consistent. He raises this floor for this Seahawks team unbelievably. And then looking over at the Tar Heels, I'm looking at Scorp to pop off in this game. He has been phenomenal for this UNC squad. And as much as it pains me as a fan of the Wolfpack, I think that they do have a chance, but I think UNC will have to pop off and be incredibly consistent in that, kind of peaking like we saw Gentlemates do at the most recent RLCS major in Boston to beat this consistent UNCW squad.
Yeah, pop off to say the least is what they're going to have to do, because as it currently sits, Chapel Hill is tied at the bottom of the league in the basement with East Carolina. A couple of schools that previously have shown better results. Not exactly the seasons they've hoped for, at least this semester, but things can turn around. They're going to have to outperform their current record up against a team who, frankly, has been quite serviceable. Wilmington being 3-1 on the season with a +4 game differential. They've been real solid. It is going to be a challenge to say the least. The question is, can the Tar Heels step up to the challenge? We're going to see right in front of us. This kickoff is now underway here. Once again, Wilmington and Chapel Hill. Reticle looking to be that man, but it is Scorp, the exact person you said who needs to pop off, leads us off 4 seconds in.
And I think this is a perfect representation of what UNC Chapel Hill is going to need to do. Scorp delays that shot just a little bit, causes Reticle to float by. That's a great shot coming out from Scorp, and like you said, that's the matchup we're going to see, Reticle versus Scorp, who can be more consistent. UNCW has been this kind of gatekeeping team. They are consistent. They will force you to outplay them to get the win, and that's what this Chapel Hill squad will have to do. Crazy Shark will pop this one out and away, and Scorp gets a strong, clear downfield. Reticle, of course, is the one to scoop it up. He pops it down and gets beat out by Scorp. Scorp now coming the other way. Gets a pop onto the back wall, looking for Cam. Cam not able to put the shot in and sends it wide into the corner. Now going the other way are the Seahawks. Wissam trying to get it around Scorp, but can't. Now Crazy Shark trying to get one on. Double commit comes out. Pinch goes far enough away to reduce the threat of this Chapel Hill squad.
It's been a good start, though, from the Tar Heels, adding more pressure than what Wilmington has thus far, as that offering does go a bit wide. Crazy Shark guides it to the sidewall, where Reticle looks to recenter. Missed contact by the defense, but Wissam cannot get the shot on it. It is Cam who's able to guide it out. Dom leaving it for Reticle. Into the corner once again. Crazy Shark, no contact. Dom, shot, not on target. Cam able to get it out wide once again. Wissam taking his time. He's got no boost left in the tank. Reticle doesn't have much either, but still beats the last defender. It's a solid start right now for Chapel Hill. You do think that earlier opportunity should have also made it 2-0, but they could build it right here in front of the blue net. It's going to be skied across by Reticle once again. Wissam down to the orange half. Crazy Shark will make sure it's guided towards safety.
And one of the things that I was pointing out earlier, one of the reasons they're getting these touches, UNCW is getting these touches towards safety, is they play so patient in the midfield. They have midfield presence. Dom says, thank you very much. Patience on display yet again. Look at this touch by Dom. Gets a flick over Scorp. Is patient, pops it around Cam, and has a wide open net. The patience of this UNCW squad is exactly what I was talking about earlier. They will force you to play the beat. They will be patient to try to play that beat on you.
And that demo opened up the opportunity really on a high note there. It was a two-person move that came through on the side of Wilmington. Dom able to bring it on through. Now it's just going to be Chapel Hill taking their time into the corner, trying to set up offense, answer back right away. They scored 4 seconds in. They had some good opportunities, but now it looks like Wilmington starting to get settled in a little bit. A demo from Crazy Shark onto Reticle will eliminate one of the offenders, but still Wilmington looked to move forward. Cam taking his time to the sidewall. Reticle giving him no room to breathe. That'll drop down for Crazy Shark. One touch is light. Does lose the 50. Leaves Scorp in a little bit of an awkward position, but he does get a light touch and gets it over the head of Wissam. It was a good offering that came through on the side of the Seahawks, but now Crazy Shark in transition, down to the corner, no extra touch. Cam, no contact, but does bring out a defender. Oh, and it ends up finding its way through. I thought for a moment that the backline defender would have it, but instead it's Dom who's able to make sure it gets into the full corner, going against his own teammate.
An own goal coming out from Dom. Patience not in his repertoire on that play, unfortunately for the Seahawks. Own goal comes out, but it will be UNC Chapel Hill taking the late or mid-game lead, excuse me. Now Reticle trying to tie it back up off the ceiling, going for the flip, but he is dunked away by Crazy Shark. Crazy Shark sends this one down the full length of the pitch, should bounce up onto the wall. Wissam is waiting for it, trying to get a pinch onto it, but not enough boost in the tank. Scorp whiffs on this one. Cam blasts this one over to the backboard, but Reticle will be there to respond to it and alleviate some of that pressure. He gets a great touch over Scorp. Cam up in the air. He whiffs him up in the air, and a 50-50 comes out. Scorp fakes out Dom. He doesn't have enough boost. Reticle on the play early. Crazy Shark off the backboard. Demo on the back line, and Crazy Shark able to get a crazy save, keeping the Tar Heels in the lead.
That was huge. Reticle was headhunting and was successful as well. You thought that would be good enough. If the shot was basically anywhere else on target, that would have been a tied ball game. Instead, in transition, it's another own goal. Crazy Shark is credited with the goal. This is brutal for the Seahawks.
Unfortunate touch coming out yet again. I believe Dom will get credited. He actually has a bunch of goals in this series. He has 3 goals in this game, number 1, and so does UNC Chapel Hill as a team. He won't get credited for him on the scoreboard, but in our hearts, we all know that he's the one that's put him into the back of the net. He's been a scoring machine so far, and now the Seahawks need to make up for that and get one into the back of the net of their own. Cam sends this one downfield. Dom's going to have to not own goal this time. It pops up and away. Scorp trying to get a quick shot, but elects to put it into the safety of the corner. Dom on the ball. Really needs to step up in this game and for the rest of the series, but he does get beat out by Crazy Shark. Great 50 from Reticle. Wissam taking his time. He might get dusted by Scorp, and does. This one's going to float down. It does, but no one's going to be there except for Reticle on defense. We send it the other way, and the Seahawks begin their counterattack.
Now dropping down from the ceiling, Dom ends up electing to back away from the ball as Crazy Shark once again goes down into Seahawks territory. Limited boost, but still gets the extra touch mid. Cam there for the shot. Reticle to deny. Wissam trying to take matters into his own hands, but it's Scorp giving him no space to breathe. Dom keeps that one out. Reticle to the sidewall. Does not get the double touch. Now Crazy Shark off the corner. Is there a shooter in tow? Yes, there is. There's a double as well, but Crazy Shark actually saves his teammate's shot, which leads to an open net for Wilmington and a way back into this game.
Wow, I guess Crazy Shark just kind of felt bad that Dom owned goal twice in this game, so he owned goals for the Seahawks this time. It wasn't in the back of the net directly like Dom had done, but it was a free pass to Reticle, and Reticle walks the dog down the field. Now we're going in again. The Seahawks do have 30 seconds. This is very doable for them. Reticle pops this one off the backboard, trying to get a flip reset. Does, but gets 50'd on that touch. Scorp whiffs on this ball. He's not as consistent as he was in the first half of this game. Dom can't reach this one. Tries to pop it back for a teammate, but Cam will take over. Reticle forces a touch out in the midfield. Scorp will be the first one to it. Pops up with a full tank of boost. Let's see what he can do. Pops it over one. Trying to get it to the backboard, but Wissam is there in weights. Cam now keeping this one in, but it gets cleared away. Scorp intercepting in the midfield, just trying to play the time on the clock, and just like that, the ball goes down. UNC Chapel Hill taking game number 1.
That's a pretty stunning upset, honestly, to lead things off. Wilmington never really felt like they could get their footing during that game, and that is the second individual game that Chapel Hill has had this season. So I'm certain they've had a tough run of schedule as well, but that's a huge momentum builder, and you got to feel good if you're on the side of Chapel Hill. You just got yourself a game. It wasn't just off of that first kickoff goal. You were able to establish multiple opportunities. I get that Dom had a couple of unfortunate moments defensively, but to be fair to Chapel Hill, that was the mistakes from Dom were because of offensive pressure created by Chapel Hill. So that was a very solid game. I think I need to see more from Reticle, unfortunately. I mean, that's the guy that we expected to kind of carry Wilmington to victory here. We saw opportunities with the demos, but it still feels as though there's a little bit left to be desired.
Absolutely there is. And like you said, Dom did own goal, but it was because of the pressure that this Chapel Hill squad was able to put onto UNCW. In the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the game, UNCW's rotation looked solid. Their midfield presence looked solid. They were patient. They were still going for the ball and not letting themselves be put in these uncomfortable positions. After that first own goal coming out from Dom, the rotation broke down almost entirely. They were able to get one back with a great pass from Crazy Shark over to Reticle. But I didn't see much on the side of offense from UNCW. They're going to have to tighten up the rotations, get back to their presence in midfield if they want to take one over this Chapel Hill squad.
And I do believe they'll do that. It probably felt a little bit like a warm-up game, but Crazy Shark looks as hot as ever as he was looking for an early double-off kickoff. Would have been eerily reminiscent to how early they scored the first goal during last game. But Wilmington is able to keep it out and are not scored on through the first 4 seconds. Now infield pass from Dom towards Wissam, looking for the double tap. No contact. Dom following it back up. The change-up has the batter swinging and missing. Goal number 1 to the Seahawks.
Dom striking early, already making up for a poor performance last game, puts it under the defense. Cam not expecting a slow shot, expecting a ripper into the bottom left corner, but Dom sees the open space in the bottom right and floats it on in. Seahawks now taking an early lead in this game number 2. Dom passing this one upfield. Reticle will follow. Cam with the 50. He'll stay on this ball. Not enough boost. He's just going to blast it downfield. Wissam popping to the corner for Dom. Dom gets a beat on one. Reticle looking for Dom. Dom now taking over yet again with a full tank of boost, but Crazy Shark gets a strong 50 in the midfield. Now Dom tries to keep this one going, but Scorp blasts this one midfield yet again. Reticle presence in the midfield seems to have regained a little bit for the Seahawks squad. Now the pressure is on the Tar Heels. This one pops over into the midfield. Cam and Scorp double commit. Crazy Shark's gonna have to make up for this, and does. Great touch to the corner, trying to follow up on it. Gets the beat, but no one from Chapel Hill able to get there quickly enough to put one on. Now this one's popping back out. Seahawks looking to counterattack, but a great 50 comes out in midfield. We're deadlocked after 1 minute and 10 in this game number 2.
This feels better from Wilmington. More offensive pressure, and it looks like they're working more as a team as well, searching for the passes in multiple different opportunities so far offensively. Defensively, they've held on at least through the first 90 seconds or so of this game. It'll be Reticle looking to guide it out from the sidewall. No double tap afforded to him. Scorp out wide as well, switching sides of play. Miss from Crazy Shark means Cam will have to make up for the mistake. Crazy Shark now to the backboard. Dom, no contact. It's out in front. Scorp, however, is unwilling to challenge it. Because of that, Reticle will be able to get a shot downfield. Cam is able to clean up the mess. Reticle, the pot, did steal that corner boost, but Cam is still first to the ball. Catching it is Dom. Scorp applying pressure. It demoed is Dom now. 3v2 temporarily. In comes Crazy Shark. Not going to make contact, and Scorp's touch gets away from him. Cam's going to have to play safe on the retreat.
He does. He's able to pop this one over to the corner where Crazy Shark is, but he doesn't get a strong pinch. He now pops this one over to Wissam with a free shot, but Reticle able to get the dunk on the attempted save. Seahawks now double up on their lead with just under 3 minutes remaining.
And that's a great read from Reticle, because that was definitely a successful save on the side of Cam. But Reticle, just being that veteran player, knew where to be at the right time. He's able to dunk that one home and get a multiple goal lead for Wilmington as they look to even up the series. Reticle now taking to the skies as well in search of a double. Won't have it, but it draws out 2 defenders. Wissam can't bully his way through. Looks like an opportunity after 2 defenders were drawn out from the backboard. Reticle will challenge right away, spiking up towards the ceiling once again. Wissam, light shot, score to send back downfield. About to cross the halfway point. Still haven't seen too much offensively on the side of Chapel Hill. We'll see if they can start developing something. As of right now, it is all Wilmington halfway through.
Cam pops this one off the corner, looking Crazy Shark mid. Crazy Shark not able to put this one on target, but that was the chance on offense they needed to capitalize on. They have plenty of time. Scorp trying to keep this pressure on that they gained. Dom pops this one around. Reticle, Crazy Shark, wide open net, and he'll put it into the back. Again, it won't be credited as a shot, but that is a great pass from Dom to Crazy Shark, saying thank you for the pass Crazy Shark had to Reticle in the last game.
I mean, if you're on Wilmington, are you wondering whether or not Dom is a sleeper agent at this point? Because that is 2 own goals that we've seen, plus now a perfect assist right over top his own teammate. It does get Chapel Hill a little bit back into this game. I get they're still down 1, but ultimately they still have opportunities, especially if Dom keeps doing what he's been doing defensively, which is unfortunately making plenty of mistakes that have then been punished. So great to Chapel Hill for punishing said mistakes, but Dom's got to tighten up on defense. He cannot keep making these mistakes. Certainly not if he wants to end up taking this series down. But as of right now, Wilmington are going to look to re-add to the score line. It's a light touch from Wissam. Crazy Shark's touch will be found by Scorp. No, Crazy Shark will just take it back into his own corner. Dom challenging right away. Shot, saved. Plenty of pressure from Wilmington and limited boost on the entire half of Chapel Hill. They'll now be guided to safety as Wissam looks to build offense and try to get that 2-goal lead back.
Reticle with a strong clear, trying to find Wissam, but Wissam does backflip on it. Scorp trying to get back to this ball, gets it around Dom. Dom playing the bump, and Reticle will be able to get this clear. Crazy Shark to intercept. I don't know if that was a touch he needed because it goes right to Reticle. Wissam with a quick shot, but it's saved away. Now Dom, no boost, trying to just keep the pressure on, allow his teammates to get a little bit of time, and he did well to do so. This one careening over to Crazy Shark. Him off the wall, looking for a musty, getting it over Wissam. Dom, don't own goal it. He doesn't. He gets a strong save into the corner. This one pops back mid, but Reticle will be there. The veteran, ice in his veins, keeping this one in favor of the Seahawks. But the pressure is on. Here come the Tar Heels.
There's so much offensive pressure coming through. They just need one to break through, one to tie as Reticle will keep it in the corner. Cam not able to steal that boost as Wissam will break out with the full tank. Crazy Shark taking it safely to the backboard. One touch into the corner. Dom now circling back towards it. Cam, good on the challenge. Shark drawn out. Score being bumped around. Very awkward right now for the Chapel Hill defense. Score, one touch over the head of Reticle. Crazy Shark trying to crash in, but not there in time. Dom to Reticle, just off target, but the rebound is there for Wissam. 2-goal lead, once again reestablished, and with 20 seconds left, that feels like the dagger.
This has been a complete reversal of what we saw in the first game. 3-1 scoreline in favor of the Tar Heels, and now a 3-1 scoreline in favor of the Seahawks. Like you said at the very beginning of this game, the Seahawks rotation seems to have stabilized in a big way. There was a little bit of a miscue, but it wasn't UNC Chapel Hill offense that got them the UNC goal. Dom did pass that one mid. It was just a mistake that got capitalized on. So far, I haven't seen anything to sustain this Chapel Hill squad, and if it keeps up, I think that UNCW could take it in 3. Dom's not done yet, trying to get one for the road. He puts it wide, and the ball goes down. The series is tied 1-1.
Good effort from Wilmington. Honestly, the only blemish right now is just Dom's defensive efforts, or you could say offensive effort for his opponents. But if that's cleaned up, what real genuine opportunities, what organic offensive possessions have been created on the side of Chapel Hill? Like, they haven't been able to establish anything. No goals in this game, and of the 3 goals last game, 2 of them were because of Dom. 1 of them was just the kickoff goal 4 seconds in. So it's a little bit of a weird spot Chapel Hill is in. They need something a little more organic, a little more creative. I say get the passing plays involved, start getting physical. Do what you have to do, but you can't just rely on Dom to be your offensive source.
And passing plays, to your credit, is exactly what gave Chapel Hill their one chance in this game. That was at least developed by the Tar Heels. There was an infield pass that came out of the UNCW corner over to Crazy Shark, but he wasn't able to put that one on target. That was the chance they needed. That was the spark they needed. Infield passes like that oftentimes throw out a stable team. They throw it out of rotation. I haven't seen UNCW cover that midfield presence as hard as they should when they're in their own half. when they're on the half of UNC Chapel Hill. They're in midfield. They are scary in midfield, but we haven't seen that from them when they're on defense. So I think that we need to look for those infield passes if we're UNC Chapel Hill, exactly like you suggested.
We'll find out, but I think Chapel Hill needs to really get something on the board quickly. A kickoff goal would be huge here, but no contact is made by either player cheating up on that play. A demo comes through right away onto Reticle, courtesy of Crazy Shark. Cam will keep the pressure up, but Crazy Shark and Scorp are both far back. Wissam cannot find the redirect. I think that shot on net would have honestly gone through. It seemed as though Crazy Shark and Scorp had found themselves in a similar position. But now Reticle is being given a free look at the ball. He will carry it out from his own backboard. Just going to guide it over towards safety. Take a 50 up against 2 defenders. Now Dom, a little bit of space to work with. Going to be up against Scorp now. Does win the 50. Crazy Shark back downfield. Any teammates up? Yes, it is Scorp looking for the redirect, but Reticle has that one cleared out wide. Wissam will guide it even further. Just a little bit of back and forth play through the first 40.
A lot of boomer ball, like you said, and ironically, the thing that has worked out for both of these teams has been keeping the ball close to your car. I think whichever team can get their mechanical plays going, their air dribbles, their bumps, will be the one that comes out in the end. And right now, in this opening minute, we've just seen a lot of booming clears. Each team clearly not super comfortable where the rotation is at early in this game. Number 3, Reticle trying to buy his team a little bit of time. Wissam does get a pre-jump onto that one, but Scorp will able to send this one far down the field. Reticle scooping this one up, trying to get a beat on Crazy Shark, and does. This one floats into the Tar Heels zone, popped up into the air. Wissam trying to make something happen with his mechanics, sends it over. Whiffs come out. I think that was 3 whiffs on the ball. Clearly, these players are not super comfortable in this game, number 3. But look who is the most comfortable. Reticle puts this one off the back post. The veteran gets a great pass to his teammate. Wissam, that duo that's been around for so long. Now it's 1-0 in favor of the Seahawks.
That is great control coming through from Reticle. Just beating 2 defenders over the top. Crazy Shark and I believe it was Scorp were both in front of the net. Just a little bit tied up over each other. So we'll see if they're able to get an answer back right away. But Wilmington certainly do look more settled of the 2 teams right now. They certainly feel a lot more established. It feels the Reticle is starting to hit his flow. Unfortunately, or I guess I should say, fortunately for Dom, and unfortunately it's a comment we do have to say, is that his defense is improving. But ultimately, 1-0 lead feels good right now to be a part of Wilmington. That is unless Chapel Hill can answer. That is a good clear down in the far corner. Dom just collects that boost, but it may not matter. The demo from Scorp did not open up the back line. The double commit, however, might. Ceiling pitch, Scorp, double tap, on target! No! It hits both posts and goes out! How is that not a goal for Chapel Hill?
That was another statement that this Tar Heels squad needed. They've had 2 great chances that they haven't been able to capitalize on. Scorp trying to keep the pressure on, looking for a read off the corner, but he sends this one wide as well. I can't believe that there was not a Tar Heel player able to tap that one in. It was floating on the goal line for what felt like an eternity, and this is where it gets scary. Scorp is able to get a double on that touch, forcing Reticle to get a bad one of his own. Dom, low boost in defense, decides to keep this one close. That's a great play. He does get a 50 onto Cam, trying to get another one onto Scorp. Wissam is on this ball, but he can't catch up to it and is deleted off the field by Crazy Shark. Just 2 minutes left. Seahawks are stabilizing, but they're starting to look a little bit shaky. Tar Heels could have a chance to get back into this game.
Yeah, double commit starting to come through a number on the side of Wilmington, something that they honestly cannot afford to see, and the offensive pressure from Chapel Hill has been greater than any other game we have seen. However, it has not resulted in anything on the scoreboard, which really feels criminal knowing the offensive possession they did have just a little bit earlier. We'll see if they're able to make up for those unfortunate post hits that came through against Scorp. It's Crazy Shark to try to start it up, immediately met by Wissam. To the corner, Cam. Going to be taken away by Dom. This 50 now going to be brought in by Scorp. He's got no boost, but that will set her out. Crazy Shark there, unable to make contact before Wissam gets there. Dom left with no boost in the corner. Super Cam able to send it off the backboard, and now Reticle will just get a full clear. We're under 90 seconds left. There have been opportunities in multitude of numbers and multitude of different deliveries coming through on the side of Chapel Hill, but still they have yet to find one that finds the scoreboard.
And that's the tough part. We've seen the pressure come out from them as the Seahawks trying to get another one, doubling up their lead, but it's saved away by Crazy Shark. They've had their opportunities, but they haven't been frequent. Much credit to the Seahawks, keeping them out of the zone. Seahawks have looked good on defense, but they also have looked shaky at times, and it is unbelievable that the Tar Heels have been kept out of their net for almost an entire 5 minutes. They haven't gotten a goal since the pass from a Seahawk over to a Tar Heel, which is not a great sign if you want to take this series.
No, not at all. But Scorp is still trying to find that opportunity. There's 30 seconds left. Crazy Shark with a solid pinch. That is then boomed downfield by Dom. Wissam looking to make contact and just extend possession. Unable to do so. Dom will challenge after collecting that mid boost, but does lose the 50 to score. Bumps being attempted from Crazy Shark. Radical still able to get back while avoiding doubles, at least temporarily. And Cam does not make contact. Here comes Dom, wasting as much time as he can. Can't get it around Scorp. Final 10 in tow. Radical and Crazy Shark mate at midfield. Wisdom is the only one left with boost. He bombs it away. It's wasting precious seconds that Chapel Hill cannot afford to lose. The ball is still in the air, however. Wisdom just playing keep away as best as he can. It is kept alive. Radical spikes it down. UNCW on the match point.
I cannot believe that ball was kept up at 0 seconds for as long as it was. We saw Wissam boom it onto the backboard and then boom it into the corner and kept it up. It went midfield, which was threatening, and one was put on target, but of course, who else but Reticle to keep calm and composed, put that one onto the ground. He's looking good in this game. He didn't come out with a goal, but he had one of each other stat. 1 assist, 1 save, 1 shot, and the most points on his team. He's playing an unbelievably consistent game of Rocket League. He has been the rock for this UNCW squad all season long, but I need to focus on the Tar Heels for a little bit here. Like, Master, what do you think they need to do to dive back into this series after being shut out for basically 10 minutes?
Well, I mean, I feel really bad for Scorp because that ceiling pinch double looked like it was going in. I was certainly convinced, but the ball and post said otherwise. I think that Scorp is on. Try to feed him the ball. Keep passing. The passing lanes are there. We saw it multiple times, and in addition to that, we also saw that the demos were coming through in number on the side of Chapel Hill. Keep doing that. Keep removing defenders. If you can't beat 3 defenders, maybe you can beat 2. Maybe you can beat 1. But just remain physical, because, I mean, that ultimately seemed to be what was opening up the lanes for Chapel Hill, and they did have opportunities. Maybe not a ton, but at least more organic ones that weren't caused by a defensive mistake on the side of Wilmington. So keep looking for those physical plays. Don't necessarily go for those solo efforts. I mean, Scorp definitely had a chance there, but that's been 1 out of 3 games so far. So continue to work together, get physical, remove the defenders. I think it's what Chapel Hill has to do offensively, and Wilmington, when they stayed solid defensively, didn't allow anything. So I think as long as we don't see any mistakes defensively, Wilmington could wrap this up here.
And I think that's what UNCW is talking about right now. Actually, interestingly, Chapel Hill didn't use their timeout. Wilmington used their timeout. They're up 2-1 in the series, and it looks like they're trying to iron out some of those defensive kinks like you talked about. They, I think, were having a little bit of shakiness, and I think they're just taking this time to calm their nerves. They're like, guys, we're up. They really can't do anything against us, so why not we just take a minute, take some time, slow it down. We're good. They don't have anything on us when we don't make any mistakes. I'm surprised that UNC Chapel Hill didn't take a time out of their own to just talk about what's going on. Focus on getting someone midfield, have someone stay up a little bit in the midfield to let a strong clear come to them and try to get a quick counterattack against the strong midfield presence of this UNCW squad. I think getting out of their zone has been the biggest issue for this Chapel Hill squad, and I'm very interested to see how they use this time, even though it was from UNCW, to try to overcome that hump.
Yeah, honestly, I think another thing that it could be on the side of Wilmington is that there was quite a bit of offensive possession in the blue half in favor of Chapel Hill. Certainly more than what we saw in the other games. So maybe they're just trying to cool off Chapel Hill, keep them from hitting that flow state, because it felt like they were that close but weren't quite able to iron it out. We'll find out whether or not that's the case. Regardless, the players are back on the field. The timeout has expired, and Wilmington are looking to seal this series in 4. It's going to be not just this game, but it's going to have to be 2 games in a row required by Chapel Hill if they want to get their first series win of this season. But as of right now, Wilmington have put themselves in a great spot. They are poised to take this one down in 4.
Dom whiffs on this one. 2 whiffs in a row. 1 from each player of the teams on the pitch. Reticle now will scoop this one up, looking for his duo he's played with for so long, but this one gets dusted away by Crazy Shark. Reticle will be able to get back to this one, though. Popping it up into the corner, taking his time, puts it around Scorp. Scorp does find it off the ceiling, though, but he's not able to follow up on it. Wissam does get a 50 onto Cam. This one floating in front of the net. Dom pops this one around Crazy Shark. It seems like the name of the game for the Seahawks right now is just force uncomfortable touches, but you got to be able to follow up on them because Crazy Shark will take a wide open net, gets it over one, takes his time, no one's there to challenge, quick shot over the low boost defender, and Chapel Hill has a first goal after what feels like forever.
And it wasn't off kickoff. That was a totally genuine offensive possession. Something new we are now seeing on the side of UNCW. The timeout seems to, at least through the first little bit of this minute, help them out in, honestly, a pretty big favor. So we'll see whether or not they continue to build this momentum as they are once again in the blue half. Reticle trying to answer back with a dribble of his own. It was a pass he was looking for Wissam. Great opportunity, or at least a great idea coming through on the side of Wilmington. Now Scorp. The reset over the top of the defense. That one will not be denied by the woodwork. That's a beauty.
And I don't really know what happened there. No one from UNCW went up for it. Scorp is unbelievably talented in this game. Gets a reset, puts it over the last back defender. He looked like Willem Dafoe in that one meme. Staring up in the sky, mouth open, not ready for what's coming. And Scorp has woken up on the pitch. Personally, I don't like the game plan decision that we've seen come out from the Seahawks. They just aren't challenging the ball as aggressively as they were, and they're giving UNC Chapel Hill time on the ball. Don't let him do that. Scorp will peak on you every time. We'll have to see if the Seahawks recover from this and get their own offense cooking again.
Patience can be a virtue. Not when you're letting Scorp do what he wants around the ball in the air. That's simply not going to work. I think you're right. I think more aggression needs to be seen, especially now that you're down 2 goals pretty early on. We need to see the Seahawks get on attack mode, but as of right now, they're stuck trying to play defense, and it is just simply not enough. Scorp has awakened, so has the entirety of the Tar Heels offense, 3-0 in less than 2 minutes.
You've heard of the timeout buff. Get ready for the timeout debuff. We hadn't seen any offense come out from Chapel Hill in so long, and now they're up 3-0 in less than 2 minutes of game time. I can't believe what I just saw. Chapel Hill looked like they were scrambling, but now Scorp is peeking on your head! 3 shots, 3 goals! Scorp with another exclamation point play in this game number 4.
You got to find a way to stop him, but as of right now, I really don't know what you can do. That is so much easier said than done as Scorp doubles that one down from the heavens. That is a beauty off kickoff. An exclamation point on what has been an unbelievable 4th game coming through on the side of Chapel Hill. Reticle looks to answer with one of his own on the double tap. He'll get a highlight on the reel as well.
I can't believe it. I've never seen this man peak before in my life. Normally he's so consistent, but this time he just gets a double. Fakes the flip reset. He doesn't need it anyway. Puts it into the bottom right corner. The Scorp versus Reticle El Clasico has begun, but Reticle has a tall task ahead of him. Cam now trying to get one of his own, but it does get cut out by Reticle. Scorp on the ball, fakes out Dom. Dom still able to stay on it and get the 50. Wissam to challenge. He stays on it. Scorp does get a 50 over him, though. Reticle should be able to scoop it up and gets a 50 onto Crazy Shark. Midfield presence has renewed for the Seahawks, which is why we haven't seen Chapel Hill score in a ridiculous amount like we did in the first 2 minutes of this game. But it seems like the Seahawks are scrambling now. They aren't as composed as they were, and I think I have to give a large blame of that to the timeout that they took.
Yeah, you know, the reason why, if Wilmington are 1, I'm certain I will be asking about that to try to figure out what was going on their side of things. But as it currently sits, Chapel Hill put themselves in a great position to force a game 5. It might even be another goal, and it is. That is this time Cam getting his first on the board. And that is, as far as I can tell, yes, that is a goal for every single player on the side of Chapel Hill. This time a bump coming through onto Wissam. Poor guy could do nothing about it as he was just bullied out of the play. I was going to refer to Reticle's double as a possible spark that would have ignited the offense of Wilmington, but instead it's just another answer back coming through from Chapel Hill. 5-1 now being the score line, and game 5, instead of feeling like a long shot, now just feels inevitable.
No one really going for that ball. We do see 5 goals. 5 goals trying to get to game number 5. Midfield presence from UNCW has looked a little bit shaky. Boost management has looked a little bit shaky. Wissam had 90 right there and took the full boost away from Dom, but it might not matter. Reticle on the ball, misses the flick. Wissam trying to put this one in, looking for Dom. Dom with another slow roller change up, but it is saved away this time. Reticle not enough boost to get back to this one. Wissam gets a 50 onto Cam, but it's not enough. Cam has a wide open net, but puts it off the post. Dom, don't do it again! Reticle able to save it away. That could have been the 4th own goal or 4th assisted shot coming out from Dom. But fortunately for him, his teammates are able to stand tall.
You know, actually, I wonder before this. Okay, now there's a little bit of a return favor on the side of Chapel Hill with a bit of an own goal. I actually wonder before this game what the goal participation of Dom for Chapel Hill was. But regardless of that, Wisdom's going to somehow find a way to bully it through. And we can't say it's over yet. There's a minute 15. That is almost too much time for 3 goals, especially if they can get something quick.
I actually sent that one over to you because I thought there was no way in the world that the Seahawks were going to score on that play. But little known to me, they actually wanted to give an own goal out. They blasted it into the corner. Wisdom was able to capitalize on it. Seahawks do have a chance, but like you said, they need to get one now. Crazy Shark pops this one, looking for Scorp. Scorp gets it under Reticle, and they will take us to game number 5, barring an absolute miracle run from the Seahawks.
And miracle is the word, right? 4 goals down with under a minute to go, especially knowing just how hot Chapel Hill has been during this game. It's going to require some otherworldly forces to get this game back in favor of Wilmington. Honestly, I just do not see it happening. This has been a complete team effort on the side of Chapel Hill. We have seen everyone get on the scoreboard. We have seen some ridiculous shots from Scorp. He's online. He's as hot as you can ask him to be right now. And there is so much momentum riding into the next game in favor of Chapel Hill. It really felt like Wilmington were going to take this series pretty convincingly. Now, I don't know who to pick in Game 5.
I don't either. I'm still kind of baffled at why we made a change. Why the Seahawks, as we made a change. They were winning. They were winning handily. Chapel Hill had no offense. They switched it up, and now you're getting stunted on, dude. It's 6-2. That's the highest scoring game we've ever had. That's more goals than Chapel Hill had in every other game in this series combined. Crazy Shark, I guess looking for an own goal, takes it down the pitch, says, thanks, Dom, I'll pay you back yet again, but it does not matter. UNC Chapel Hill take this game number 4 6-3 and send us to game number 5.
And I gotta be honest, I don't think Dom's accepting that as retribution, honestly, because it did not affect the final of that game whatsoever. Instead, it just made it a 4-goal deficit to 3. Ooh, big deal. But I mean, Scorp was just outrageous during that game. Multiple highlight level goals, 4 to his name, more than all of Wilmington, including the last own goal. An unbelievable performance. The guy that you called on as the most crucial player for this Chapel Hill squad proved that that should be the case. And I'll tell you what, if he shows up in any way similar to what he just did in this game, Chapel Hill has more than a real chance.
And I like what I saw out of Reticle. That's the other guy that I called on for the Seahawks. He had his own peak in the game. Wisdom was credited with 2 goals, but make no mistake, he was credited for one of those from a Crazy Shark own goal. I don't know. I can't believe this happened. Like you said earlier, I was looking at the Seahawks like, oh, they got it in the bag. UNC hasn't been on offense. UNC Chapel Hill hasn't been on offense in basically 10 minutes of game time. And then they came out and absolutely clobbered them. It's like UNCW just wanted to give us the entertainment of a game 5. So if they do come out with the win, I'll have to thank whichever player we interview for that entertainment. But it does make me a little bit worried for them because Chapel Hill is coming out hot. They might have entertained for just a little bit too long, and that allowed the Tar Heels to get back into this series.
Oh man, this really does feel like a coin flip now. I mean, ultimately, you would think that Wilmington would have the ice to take this one down, but I just have so many questions regarding them right now, and fewer questions regarding Chapel Hill, just because Scorp has been an otherworldly player throughout, well, I'd say a good portion of the series, but very specifically last game, and recency bias would say that this is then going to favor Chapel Hill. We'll see if they can carry that momentum through, as Rocket League is absolutely a game of momentum. That pass back won't quite find Scorp. He'll have to take it back to the other corner, but he'll leave it for Crazy Shark, who ends up losing the challenge to Reticle. Now turning on it, 2 players commit. Scorp does not make contact. It's a light shot from Dom, but Crazy Shark will make sure that one is away. He'll even have enough time to get a second touch as he clears it down into the blue half. He's going all the way down, coast to coast, but can't quite beat Reticle. I thought that double was going to scoot on by.
That would have been insane to open up like we did in game number 1, in game number 5, having UNC Chapel Hill be the one scoring first and early. but we'll have to see if that one rings true. We could see a deadlock in this game as both teams try to stabilize and get back to the play that won them their respective games. This one pops over. Wisdom trying to get back to it. He does get the beat onto Crazy Shark. Over to Reticle. Reticle pops into the corner. Can't get the double. Trying to get this one back mid for Dom. Dom soars by this one, but a double commit comes out for the Tar Heels. Scorp able to follow up on it. Crazy Shark has a free shot. He puts it top right. Crazy Shark has been consistent in these previous 2 games, and Chapel Hill take another lead.
And he's able to just barely bail out the defender. I'll tell you what, that's a great challenge. Your teammate got removed. You still knew that you had enough time to get to the ball to where if your teammate respawned, he had nothing to worry about. Not just that, but he ends up getting the goal on the far post offering. Now a minute 15 in. Look at here, look at Wilmington. They're trying to answer back right away on the drop-off from Wissam from the ceiling, but instead it's cleared out this time by Cam. Reticle, no contact. Wissam does beat Crazy Shark to the play. Scorp, the only one left back. Wissam looking to set up a teammate. Does get contact on that ball. Centers out for Dom, but he's bumped out of the way by Crazy Shark. A double commit came through. Reticle's shot is not on target, and he had the whole net to work with. Looking a little bit like Nathan McKinnon, if you will, on that. But now he'll center back out. Dom can't make contact. Everything is falling apart for Wilmington. Chapel Hill will walk away with the ball towards midfield. Wissam looks to get the clear. Now he will drag it on into the blue half. It'll be Scorp clearing on down as Reticle tries to set back up and tries to make amends for that last miss.
We'll have to see. A great demo comes out from Crazy Shark. He gets 50 back over to him. He tries to pop it mid for a teammate. Scorp will scoop it up. He's going backwards. Dom bumps him off the ball. Cam tries to stay on it. Crazy Shark sends it, but this time it is saved to midfield by the Seahawks. He gets it by 1, but Reticle is there to scoop it up. Scorp keeping this pressure on, looking for Cam midfield. Gets it around the defenders. Dom able to scoop it back up. Now Cam looking for Crazy Shark. Crazy Shark, the one with the hot hand, trying to strike while the iron is hot, but the Seahawks have broken through back onto the offensive side of the pitch. Cam now makes an awkward touch, sending it over to the corner for Scorp. Scorp now has a full tank, but Wissam does challenge early and gets that ball off that man's car. Reticle pops this one up. Whiff comes out from Crazy Shark. Wissam pops it up. Another chance, just not on target. The Seahawks whiffing everything, not connecting on their shots. Reticle, the only one that seems to be playing consistently so far for them.
Now Scorp will take a 50 at midfield. Reticle is going to be first to the ball, and he's going to be given a little bit of space to work with, too. Let's see what he can do. Can he pop off again? The reset over the top of one. The double tap is saved off the bar somehow, some way by Chapel Hill. However, it's still in a dangerous spot with some backflips on the open net. Reticle will have to circle back towards it, and off the backboard it goes. Crazy Shark, a great read to send off to the sidewall. Dom, the pop-up. Cam playing patient. Dom on no boost. Still hits it to the backboard. Crazy Shark to deny once again. Reticle now the follow. Corner double. Out in front. Scorp to clear. A minute and a half remaining. The Seahawks are getting desperate. They need something, and they need it now.
Reticle might need to have a legacy game, because I just watched his teammates whiff the ball like 3 times in front of the open net. You guys got to be able to put that one away, especially if you want to go to land. Reticle gets another strong clear, but it's right to Scorp. He is demoed off the pitch by Wissam, though. There are a couple players. Wissam hasn't really been involved in this game so far. He still only has 42 points to his name. He is not having the game 5 he wanted, but look who is! Crazy Shark is having the game that he wanted. He's popping off. It's not Scorp. Crazy Shark gets a double off the back wall, and that could be devastating for the morale of the Seahawks.
That is a beauty, and you mentioned him being a hero throughout the course of this series. Crazy Shark has been consistent, and he is showing up when Chapel Hill need it the most. A mere 60 seconds left. That separates Chapel Hill from their first series win of the season, and Wilmington a crucial, brutal loss. A lot needs to happen in favor of Wilmington in order to get this one back, but right now I do not know if they have it. It may just have to be Reticle doing it on his own. He'll take to the skies from the ceiling. Shot saved by Scorp. Dom will try to center it back out off the corner. Scorp, the pop, Wissam there for the shot, saved by Scorp again. 30 seconds left. Can the Seahawks get anything on the board?
30 seconds remaining. They've had chance after chance, but the follow-up shots just haven't been there. Wissam tries to get to this one, gets dusted by Crazy Shark. Crazy Shark happy to just waste some seconds off the clock. It's a demo onto Reticle. He's been the man for the Seahawks in this series so far. Nothing he has done has prepared them for what Crazy Shark and Scorp have led the Tar Heels to. Their first victory in C3 this season against the number 8 rated UNCW Seahawks. Nate has to be in shambles. A series that felt like it had to be UNCW's has slipped away and into the horns of the Tar Heels.
Let's just say, Scorp played a great game defensively, but Crazy Shark, man, getting it done on the offensive end, and then Cam playing perfectly as he needed to support his teammates. That was a phenomenal performance from Chapel Hill, a huge upset, as I'm pretty certain if I were to check, including myself, there isn't a single person who guessed that. Oh, wait, never mind. Ralph is in the chat already bragging about it. Crazy. Yeah, congrats to Ralph on probably being the only person. But that was a huge victory on the side of Chapel Hill. All congratulations to them. I don't know what happened with Wilmington, but what we can say is Chapel Hill took advantage of moments when they were offered them. Good effort by them.
I'm in shock. That seemed like an absolute choke. I have Prod, a UNC Chapel Hill fan, in my ears screaming, "Let's go." I know he's going to be talking to Nate about that win later. No matter what happens for the rest of the season, he'll be like, "Yeah, but I beat your team, though. My team beat your team." And they should have pride in that. It wasn't like they just beat them. In the last 2 games, it looked like they dominated them. Scorp was playing absolutely out of his mind in game number 4, and then Crazy Shark was playing crazy in game number 5. What are we doing? Where did this come from? McMaster, how were they able to get back into this?
It almost seemed personal, honestly. It almost felt personal between them. And yeah, for a fact that production's going to be holding this over Nate, just over his head the entire season. Hey, you see this? You see this final score right here? Regardless, that was a great series. And, Chapel Hill, they started off going up 1-0. Thanks due in part to Dom, unfortunately, having some pretty rough defensive mishaps. Then games 2 and 3, it looked like the Wilmington show all over again. The Seahawks were back to flying high. Next thing you know, a timeout's called by Wilmington, and we got to figure out what happened there, at least somehow, some way. Maybe a player just had to use the restroom or something. But regardless, that shifted all the momentum and led to a dominant game 4, dominant game 5, massive victory for the Tar Heels. We're going to go to a brief break, and when we do return, we will have ourselves an interview with one of the victors from Chapel Hill.
trampa, safada, bagunça meu juízo em paz. Vai rebolando, jogando um corpinho sem dó nem dó. No grave que bate, que bota, com bota, que bota, com bota, com muita pressão. No batucão ela vem, vem. Sua na pele não para, vai. Corpo no grave, perde a razão. Que bota, com muita pressão. No batucão ela vem, vem. Sua na pele não para, vai. Corpo no grave, perde a razão. Que bota, com muita pressão. Ela chega, domina o baile, é foda demais. Gata braba, safada, bagunça meu juízo em paz. Vai rebolando, jogando o corpinho sem dó nem dó. No grave que bate, que bota, com muita pressão. Então ela vem, vem, sua na pele não para, vai. Corpo no grave, perde a razão. Que bota, com muita pressão. No batucão ela vem, vem, sua na pele não para, vai. Corpo no grave, perde a razão. Que bota, com muita pressão.
I want it back. I want it back. I want it back. I want it. I want you to take your jeans off. Take your jeans off. You were talking all that over the phone. So show me what you got. I'll take my jeans off. I'll take my jeans off. You thought I was bluffing, but really I don't know what you thought. Is this rap poet liquor make me like it more? That's what makes me question if I really.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the C3 Esports League. I'm McMaster alongside me, Colson, and we have one of the victors from UNC Chapel Hill. We have ourselves the Game 5 hero himself, Crazy Shark. Welcome to the booth, my friend, and congratulations on the victory. You know, getting that victory against Wilmington has to feel oh so good, but you in particular in Game 5 went nuts, scoring both goals. You had the double tap. What was the feeling like? What was the energy like for the team entering Game 5?
Thank you. I really appreciate y'all having me and the Glaze. You know, I was having a really nice Game 5. But in terms of how we were feeling entering Game 5, after the romp in Game 4, we were feeling really confident. We were, like, just... once we hit, I'd say, about goal 3 in Game 4, we were in it and we knew we were going to win. We were confident after that. I think we really found our stride and... like we're actually hitting our aerials and all that consistently. So it was really nice.
You guys absolutely had a great time in that Game 4 and that Game 5. A good win in Game 1 helps you guys take that series in the end. Like Kid Icarus, it seemed like the Seahawks flew a little bit too close to the sun, and once they hit the ground, you guys were in a stampede and stomped all over them. To me, how do you regain after getting shut out for almost what felt like 2 games straight? Your only goal in Game 2 came from a pass from Dom, one of the Seahawks players, over to you, and you got it. And then you didn't have offense at all in game number 3. What was that tipping point? What was the changing point that led you guys to pop off in that game number 4?
I think we knew that we already had really solid defense going on. Like, I know we got shut out, but I think we lost those games by a combined 2 points. And so we were feeling pretty good despite the lack of offense. And so going into the Game 4, after the timeout that Wilmington called, we were just feeling sort of relaxed. We were joking. And then, like, you know, kickoff happens, you lock in on comms, and I think we scored like within 30 seconds and we were just out of the races. We were feeling great. I think, ironically, the timeout helped us more.
You guys were feeling great and you were looking great. Did you guys talk about anything during that timeout? It looked like UNCW did, but it ended up leading them to chill out a little bit too much and challenge you guys less. You had more space and time in the air. What was said in that timeout that helped you calm the nerves and get back into the series?
Honestly, we mostly just were complimenting ourselves on the things we were doing right and keeping up the confidence. I think one of the biggest issues as a team we faced is getting into a deficit and not being able to crawl back out of it. And so I'm really proud of the mental regaining that we did there more than any sort of on the field regaining.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you could see the confidence just sheening, especially in that fourth game. You guys started getting hot and things clicked beautifully. Now, in addition to things that went well for you guys, you were able to exploit a lot of opportunities that they gave to you. What would you say was a big thing that you saw that was going wrong for them that you were able to exploit?
Yeah, I made a concerted effort, I think, starting around game 3 or 4 to really get a lot more bumps and demos a little bit, but especially boost steals in their half in. And I think we saw that come through in game 4, where there was a lot of times where Scorp had an easy shot off the wall and a really nice double at one point that came from the Wilmington team just not having any boost to go up and challenge him early. And once you give Scorp space, he's going to do something with it. That guy is amazing.
Well, props have to be given to all of you. Scorp definitely had some moments, but you did as well, and so did Cam. You guys finally get your win in this season. And final things you would like to say to close out the interview?
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate my team. Shout out Scorp and Cam. Shout out to all my other guys at UNC watching. There's 12 total of us, and I run all of it, so that's a lot of work. But I know they're glad to see us get a win on stream for once, and I'm really excited for the rest of our season and the rest of everybody's season. And shout out Cam's mom. She's watching too.
Shout out all the fam, but shout out Cam's mom and shout out your team. Congratulations once again, Crazy Shark, on a phenomenal win. That was Crazy Shark with Chapel Hill. They take down Wilmington in Game 5, coming back from a 2-1 deficit, able to take it down, but we are not done with the action. We still have 3 more series left tonight. The next one should be a doozy. It is Clemson and UNC Charlotte coming up next.
Fuck it, rap, poet, liquor, make me like it more. That's what makes me question if I really want it. If I really want it bad. If I really want it bad. If I really want it bad. Take your jeans off, take your jeans off. You were talking all that over the phone, so show me what you got. I'll take my jeans off, I'll take my jeans off. You thought I was bluffing, but really I don't know what you thought. It's this rap, poet, liquor, make me like it more. That's what makes me question if I really want it back. I boost her ego when I tell her this the best I've had. Pop the seal on and then come down so I never crash.
back to the C3 Esports League. I'm McMaster. Alongside me is Colson. If you guys did not see the first matchup of the day, you're going to want to see it after this VOD is published when the stream is done, because that was a banger between UNC Chapel Hill and UNC Wilmington. I thought would be a one-sided series in favor of Wilmington. Ended up being the complete opposite, Colson. I mean, that was just mental. What are we even supposed to make of what happened last series?
I can't believe it. A squad with such a high floor like UNCW losing to the number 15 seed in UNC Chapel Hill, who hadn't won a series all season long. And Chapel Hill decided to play the game, I guess, in games 4 and 5, and came out and absolutely stomped. Score popping up. He got a flip reset over 2. He got a double tap on their heads. And we saw then Crazy Shark pop off in game number 5, showing the ice that he has and absolutely putting the nail in the coffin. Again, I said this earlier, Nate is probably confused, angry, sad, all of the negative emotions. But it is what it is. We saw the peak, the thing I called for at the very beginning. I said, UNCW is this team that is the gatekeeping team. If they play solid like they always do, they'll be able to keep UNC Chapel Hill out. UNC Chapel Hill will need to peak, and they did. And I think that is completely why the Tar Heels took that series, and they deserved that win.
Yeah, this puts Wilmington in a really weird spot now. They'll drop to 3-2, and it can be assumed that they might just drop out of the top 8 if Asheville are able to get a victory this week. So we'll see whether or not that's the case. But as of right now, I got to stop worrying about that and worry about this absolute banger of a matchup we have in front of us. The 3 and 4 seeds colliding in honestly, 2 of the most stapled teams in the entirety of C3. We have UNC Charlotte, perennial champs throughout the entire history of C3, going up against Clemson, who have seemed to be who have always been right there, always been right at their coattails, but they seem pretty balanced now. UNCC's place at the top seems to have been usurped a little bit, while Clemson continues to just move their way up and up the ladder. Both teams are 3-1. It's a matter of one game and game differential that puts UNC Charlotte on top of them in terms of that. But in terms of actual play on this series, I don't know who's going to take it. It's going to be a fascinating matchup.
It absolutely will be fascinating for a couple of reasons, and the couple of reasons are the 2 different players on the pitch. Dead Devil subbing in for Bala, and we have Pasta subbing in for Beans. Clemson did lose to UNCG, and I think Clemson was kind of rattled from it, so they're looking for a change. I don't know if it's temporary or permanent, but Pasta's in the game, and I think I'm going to have to look to each of these substitute players to be the ones to really step up, play consistent, play for their teammates, and I think whichever sub plays better in this series will end up on the team that comes out on top.
I think you're right, because ultimately you're going to have 2 stapled starters on both sides, but can the sub feel like they're not subbing in for anybody? That is the question. There is a big miss coming through from Lazy, which is a rare one, but it is Dead Devil. The super sub already in the first on the board for the Niners, and at least with 32 seconds, it was pure offense coming through from UNC Charlotte.
Pasta was able to make a good save on the goal line on the shot from Knight, but it was not enough to get them out of the zone. Charlotte taking an early lead 30 seconds in. I personally think Charlotte could do a little bit better. I've seen Dead Devil play with this team before, and it's a solid lineup. He normally plays pretty patient, while Knight and Lazy end up being the dynamic duo we all know and love them to be. And so I'm imagining it'll be harder for Pasta to get into it. Although he puts one just a little bit wide, he's going to have to play aggressive. And with this Clemson squad, who has been known to be super coordinated and plays with and for one another. So I'm interested to see if Dead Devil can pop off individually and if Pasta can pop into the lineup of this Clemson squad.
I think one of the things you mentioned to me about that matchup between Clemson and UNC Greensboro last week is that Clemson seemed very focused on individual efforts, not necessarily competing as a team. But in 3v3, you cannot afford to do that, especially not against a well-oiled machine like the Niners. So we'll see if Clemson are able to get away from their individualistic style and work together to conquer the challenge in front of them. But as of right now, it is all Niner Esports. They're up 1-0, more offensive developing. This is a great carry coming through from Dead Devil, but he doesn't have any teammates waiting in the midfield. Instead, they're both back. It'll be Knight who wins a challenge against 2 defenders, Enzo and Mesau, running over each other, and that is a freebie gifted to Knight.
I can't believe it. This is exactly what I called for. If Clemson can't figure out their rotations, play, and force for one another, they're going to struggle against a Charlotte team that is dominant. They love going fast. They love disrupting your rotation. And the things that Clemson had done so well last season that got them 3rd place at the LAN event seems to have crumbled after their loss against UNC Greensboro. Lazy now over to Knight, the duo that we know so well, trying to find something early, but now Dead Devil trying to pop off on his own. Gets it around him, pops it over to Lazy. Lazy off the backboard, Lazy off the backboard again, looking for a triple, sends it off the post. Knight sends it off the other post. Unbelievable, this one stays out and goes off the post again. Dead Devil can't take an easy goal, and it stays 2-0 in favor of Charlotte.
It feels like they were robbed of a goal there. Post after post after post. After probably post one more time after that as well. But that is a lot of pressure coming through from Charlotte, and Clemson have to figure out how to escape those moments. This is a good opportunity right here as Masao gets a simple redirect to keep Lazy honest on defense. Knight, no contact as Pasta gets a clear out wide. But honestly, that whole offensive possession, that feels like it should be 3-0 for Charlotte. That started off of another defensive double commit from Clemson. There is a distinct lack of chemistry right now between these 3 players, and that has to get solved not just for the sake of this matchup, but that has to get solved in general. If Clemson are going to make the LAN, which they probably still will regardless of this result, they have to figure out how to work together or they're not going to place well. It's a much deeper problem than just a week-to-week thing. They got to get this solved for the rest of the season.
They absolutely do. Masao trying to pop this one mid. Dead Devil makes it awkward for Pasta. Pasta does hold to scoop it up and get the 50, but Lazy will be the first one to it. 50 from Masao onto Lazy. Knight's up for this one early, pops it low, keeps it to himself. Trying to get it, but he can't. He gets a little bit spun out on that corner wall. The jump and his power slide just not agreeing on that one. Pressure is kept on, though. Dead Devil's keeping this one into the corner. Masao trying to get it out, but puts it a little bit too far away from the nose of his car. Lazy to Dead Devil, but Pasta coming up huge again on defense for this Clemson squad, holding it together and keeping it within 2.
The only problem is, when are we ever going to see the blue side of the field? We've been here in Clemson's half seemingly forever, and the pressure will not stop from the Niners. It's finally a good opportunity for Pasta to clear, but look at Knight blitzing in anyways. Up goes Lazy. Doesn't get the touch. Looking to follow it from the backward as well, but Masao will get a clear. Knight will have to catch him. We do see the blue side of the field. It's a little bit of a refreshing view, honestly, to see it. But then the offense immediately fizzles on out as Lazy's going to have a carry back down into Clemson's half. Enzo will carry it towards Masao. One touch from Knight. Going to try to follow it. Slowed down from Enzo. But the clock is so limited at this point. Just being stuck here is hurting Clemson. That was almost an own goal. I thought we were about to see visions of what we saw last game. Instead, it's just more offensive pressure. And with 30 seconds left, as long as we're in this half, this game is as good as done. Not Daredevil. Dead Devil is going to make it 3. His second is the team's 3rd. And that's game 1 to UNC Charlotte.
He has been phenomenal in this game, number 1. He has, I think, the most score on his team and does. He has an assist and 2 goals. He's been on every single offensive play for this Charlotte squad. And he looks really good. They've kept this Clemson squad awkward in their own half, and they can't find one another. They're diving, being desperate, trying to get there. I understand that there's low time, but it has been tough for this Clemson squad for a reason. Not only because of the struggles they've had all season or as of late, but because of how good Charlotte is even when they're playing with a sub. Knight tries to get it around everyone, but it is saved away by Masao. Lazy takes it over to the wall, grabs the corner boost. Knight now on the ball. Lazy pre-jumping him. 50s it off of Knight's car. I think they're just messing around because they felt confident in that game. Number 1, the Niners take it 3-0.
And convincingly. And let's just be honest with ourselves. Dead Devil really did not feel like a substitute that game. 100% goal participation to go with 4 shots. 12 total shots on the side of UNC Charlotte, while Clemson had 2 total shots to their name. I wish we were able to see the amount of time spent in the orange half. It had to have been at least 3 out of the 5 minutes. It just felt impossible for Clemson to get out. There's something deeper here, unfortunately, with this Clemson squad, or at least I feared that that's the case.
I think it's tilt. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they haven't been performing super well. Actually, no, they haven't been playing as well as they normally have, especially as of recent. I think that's why they brought Pasta in for Beans, swapping out the food groups just a little bit. And Pasta has been playing pretty strong. He ended up at the top of the scoreboard for Clemson, coming big on defense. but he wasn't super involved on the offensive side. He didn't have any shots registered, but then again, neither did Enzo. The only one shooting was Massow, and both of them were saved away by Lazy. Clemson really needs to tighten up here. They need to play for one another. There's great opportunities that they're seeing, but they're just a little bit too slow. They need to bait in someone from Charlotte, get it around one, and then make that pass. Because with how fast this Charlotte squad is playing, they're going to get that first outlet pass immediately. You got to be able to switch it up, change the pace a little bit, because if you're playing at the speed Charlotte plays at the whole time, it's going to be a rough series.
And, you know, I can point to the mistakes that have come through on the side of Clemson, all I would like to, but in the end of the day, they are playing against a highly established group in UNC Charlotte. And even last week, the matchup against Greensboro is still tied for 5th in the standings. It's not like they were facing a lower-ranked team in the standings, but right now, they got issues to solve. Enzo's able to save that one out wide. Very close call, as Lazy was trying to leave it for Dead Devil, but Pasta will find himself a clear. Knight's low on boost. He'll collect that corner and will be able to guide it to safety, avoiding the bumps as well. Enzo on the rebound is just off target. That felt like a gimme that needed to go. Instead, Lazy gets to waltz the ball all the way back down to the orange half and will remain at 0 apiece.
It's a mental block. It has to be. I mean, that was the most wide open net we've seen all series so far, and it just still gets sent wide. Dead Devil doesn't get it by Enzo. Enzo's playing well on defense. He just needs to translate that a little bit over onto the offensive side. What could be dangerous, especially for Clemson, if they crash out a little bit at the end of the season and still make land and then recover by the time they get to land, it could be dangerous. And dangerous, as always, is Massow. The only one with the shots in the last game for Clemson pops it over. Dead Devil doesn't get the touch he wanted. Massow says, thank you very much, and gives Clemson a lead.
It wasn't even really a bad touch on the side of Dead Devil either. I think it was fine trying to put it out to the outside as opposed to his own net, but Massow just had that one on lock. And the Clemson Tigers are able to get themselves one on the board. Can they continue building in set effort, or will UNC end up knocking the door down? It is Lazy out in front who looks for an opportunity. That demo could open things up for the Niners. It's Massow who will spike it from the ceiling. Dead Devil, one touch. Here comes Knight, looking to take control. Up against Enzo, kicked out wide. Bump comes through. Lazy, the pop-up. Going to be an easy read for Massow. He'll clear it towards the midfield line where Dead Devil will receive it. Lazy having to half flip out of the way as Pasta crashes on through once again. Clemson looking certainly more confident and much more organized throughout the second game so far.
And I'd look to Charlotte to try to break up that coordination. Look for demos, look for bumps, just get them a little bit uncomfortable again, because that could be hugely beneficial for them, especially now down. We have a Rule 1 on the goal line of UNC Charlotte. The duo of Lazy and Knight versus Pasta, and I think Massow, I believe, which would and could be interesting to see. So far, they're playing well. Let's see if the established duo can beat the newcomer. They are doing well holding that Rule 1, though, not moving an inch from the spot that they initially touched noses. Lazy gets this one around. Could be open. They elect to play it a little bit slow. Lazy tries to chip this one over, but Massow able to get the clear into the corner. Twos on a threes night. It's a blessing to see. Let's see which team comes out on top. But McMaster, what do you think we need to see from one of these squads now that we're playing twos?
Well, I mean, to begin with, a lot of respect I will give to the players for staying in this. In higher level lobbies, you never see players respect a Rule 1. But honestly, I'm worried a little bit for Clemson because Knight and Lazy are the established duo. They've been around C3 for a long time. It is to be expected that they come out on top in this duel. However, Pasta and Mesa are doing a great job holding their own right now. That is a nasty fake from Pasta to get by one. Can he continue creating offense? No, it is Knight to turn it out wide. And Mesa will simply waste more time down in the corner. And honestly, this 2v2, this whole wasting time thing, this will favor Clemson in the long run. They're up, and if they're able to simply hold off, this Rule 1 could be held the rest of the game, hypothetically, and Clemson could just walk away with the game W.
This Rule 1 has changed a little bit. Players have moved. They've now stacked on top of one another. They are no longer nose to nose, but they are still in the same position as before. Like you said, this could favor Clemson. Double commit comes out from them, but Pasta will be able to recover. Now it looks like the players are having a little bit of fun in yet again. Massow able to scoop this one up, gets it over Knight. Lazy will get back to it with no boost, but it's just not enough. Charlotte has to be able to get this one into the back of the net. Knight pre-jumps Lazy's pass, tries to land on it, but does not. Nassau will now take over. We have been in a deadlock for what feels like 3 minutes of game time. This twos match might have been busted through by that demo, but the shot from Knight just goes wide, and with 1 minute remaining, we are still playing twos on a Tuesday, and it's still 1-0 in favor of Clemson.
Gonna have to respell Tuesday to TWOS day, honestly enough. But these demos could really end up working out for Charlotte. That is a great 50 from Pasta. It's wasting a lot of crucial time. They could just hypothetically defend this the entire rest of the way, but Knight's gonna make that a lot easier said than done. Lazy will try getting a turn onto the ball. Pasta getting a demo and a challenge. He's going to go head hunting again a little bit further downfield as that will ricochet hard off the backboard. The shot comes through. A great save from Lazy as Enzo and Dead Devil are having a little bit of fun on their own. Something that the cameras probably could go without seeing if we were to be honest with ourselves. Pasta looking to play patient is bumped out of the way by his own teammate. Now here comes Lazy with an opportunity. Maceout on the respawn. Big flick towards the backboard. Maceout has to play it perfectly and does, but not giving up is Charlotte. Lazy, Knight, Pasta with the save. The clear, not even going to come through. Playing patient. Now we'll pop it away. Wasting as much time as possible. Lazy and Knight having to do it in the air. Kept alive. Lazy off the corner. Knight cannot get there. Clemson hold on to the 2v2.
Wow. I guess that's all I got to say. If we want to keep it a twos game, Clemson should do it again. They didn't have it in the threes game against the Niners. Make it a 2v2. Pasta and Nassau coming out massive. Nassau dropping 500 points in that game. Only goal on the pitch. A lot of saves coming out, and I was surprised, actually. I thought for sure that Knight and Lazy, being that dynamic duo, would dominate in a 2v2 match, at least tie it up, but the defense from Pasta and Nassau was too much to handle. They played so well off one another. They didn't let the Niners get near enough to the net without making it super uncomfortable to go for the ball. They forced it up in awkward situations, borderline unscorable positions, and that led to Clemson taking this game number 2. Twos in game number 2. Now it's tied 1-1 in the series.
I think it was kind of wild, honestly, seeing that 2v2 come through. Apologies to viewers who may not be of a mature age. That content, I believe, is unacceptable, and I believe words will be had from the league to the players to make sure that that does not happen again, that being whatever you would like that to be. Coming up now, game 3. Clemson actually, when it came to that goal that they did score, it was during the 3v3 part. That was pre-Rule 1. So credit does have to be given where it is due, as Maceout did have the lone goal of that game, and it came in the 3v3 segment of the game earlier on. We'll see if UNC Charlotte are able to answer back, or if Clemson can build a little bit of momentum off of this. Traded demos immediately at the midfield line means Maceout is given a free look at the ball. Dead Devil looking to shut it down. Maceout over the top of one. Knight not quite able to shut that one out still. He'll get a second touch, but it's awkward in front of the net, and Enzo is going to have a free shot towards net. Now it's the Niners tripping over each other.
This is the Clemson that I'm very used to. We see Enzo just take his time, wait for a bad touch from Knight, and then give a slow roller change up into the back of the net. I don't know what happened, but that twos match, I guess, just swapped the momentum entirely. And it must be frustrating for Knight and Lazy, who couldn't get anything through for 4 minutes of game time. That has to be frustrating. And now Clemson in threes come out and strike early. That is unbelievable. A great change of pace coming out. Pasta able to send this one away. He's playing well. He's the sub that I think has edged it out for me a little bit in this game. Granted, Dead Devil was deadlocked on the line for 4 minutes in that game too. So we're going to have to see if he can come out huge in this game number 3 and give the Niners the edge yet again. Knight popped this one back over to him, but Pasta able to clear this one up to the ceiling. Knight now trying to pop it down for Lazy, but gets beat out to the ball by Nassau. It seems like no matter what these Niners are throwing at the Tigers, they can't get through the defense, at least for right now.
I think the big question marks that we had in Game 1 regarding Clemson seem to have dissipated for the most part. It seems though the team is working together. I'm not seeing many double commits come through, if any at all. The rotations seem to be right. They're trying to find each other with passing plays. Clemson's done a great job adjusting from Game 1 and being able to make changes that have led to now successful opportunities in multiple straight games. Multiple leads now coming through on the side of Clemson. This is a great effort, and honestly, not what I necessarily expected. I was really concerned about how they were playing, when now I should be concerned about the Niners, because they haven't scored in over a game, and this is 2 goals to the good now for the Tigers.
Tigers playing really well together. Enzo and Massau linking up, one off the wall. Massau rips a quick shot behind the defender, and that is an easy goal for the Tigers. Charlotte now left scratching their heads a little bit. Be aware, though, this is the exact same thing that happened in the last series. We saw Charlotte take your game number 1, just like UNCW did. And then in this game 2 and 3, we saw Clemson paralleled over to the Seahawks, run away with them. So there is still hope if you're a Charlotte fan, but in this game number 3 right now, there isn't much to look for.
No, I mean, while that is mirroring the same series script, this game script feels a lot more like the dominant game 4 that came through on the side of Chapel Hill. But look at the bully ball being played by Lazy. Oh my goodness, telling Masau to hit the gym, get some protein, literally anything to stop this as Lazy forces the ball on through to the net.
That is a wild 50 on the goal line, and who else but Lazy to put that one through? A lazy shot coming out from him. He was dancing on the top of the ball, forced it by Massau, and that brings them within 2. They still have a lot of work to do, but this Charlotte squad is the team to be able to do it. Lazy's trying to find Dead Devil. Dead Devil keeps it close, trying to get a 50 yet again, but Massau comes out just a little bit stronger on this one. Must have pumped a little bit of iron in between the last shot and that one. Lazy now on the ceiling, gets a flip reset off of it, but Pasta able to pop this one into the midfield. Massau does Dead Devil. This one going a little early. Knight is able to pop this one, but the midfield presence from Pasta has been unreal. Clemson and Pasta on this squad have done great containing Charlotte. We're going to have to see something creative like this, Lazy tonight, in order for them to break out of it.
I mean, the question is it enough? There is still half the game, which is a lot of time on the clock for the Niners. But they got to get something going, and this is a great opportunity from Knight. Masau does not have it. It's bar and out twice. Lazy will try to center it back out for Dead Devil, but he's not quite in the position that Lazy needed him to be in to receive that pass. That'll go screaming off the backboard. Knight on the turn now, once again into the corner, trying to force the offense through, and Lazy's going to have a great chance. He'll bounce that one through. No, not quite. Masau shutting the door once again. Full field clear. Knight is back in time. The Clemson are right away back on the offense, spiking it down. It's Lazy who gets by 2 defenders. Enzo, however, will be back in time. Under 2 minutes to go. The Niners pressing forward, getting close, but still nothing left. They are down 2. They got a lot of work to be done.
And I like the way that Clemson's playing right now. They're playing relatively patient. They're just letting Charlotte use all their boosts, but it can get dangerous. Knight to Lazy, but another great save coming out by the defense. Pasta lets that ball come up to him, passing it now over to Enzo. Enzo looking for a double, but it gets saved away by Lazy. Knight plays the beat on Nassau, and now it's Pasta just last back. He gets a 50, but this could be dangerous. Lazy is going to find the back of the net with that one. Knight and Lazy finally syncing up after a drought of 2 minutes. They're now within 1.
I feel like when the pace of the game goes ahead and increases, it's because the Niners are forcing it, and it works out better for them when the game is moving faster. You saw it there on just a quick transition play. Able to beat one defender, beat the ball over the top, spike it straight down for a teammate. Easy shot for the Niners. So that's a great work, able to get themselves through. But now they still have another left to go. It's a great opportunity. Knight looking for the redirect. Enzo not giving him a sniff at it. Dead Devil back in field. Lazy shot 50 away by Pasta. But man, the Niners are fighting tooth and nail on offense right now. They've had ample opportunity. They've converted upon one. Do they have enough left in the tank to get a second?
Hopefully they do. I'd love to see this one go into overtime. Dominance in each half of the game so far. Dead Devil gets a reset on the ball, gets a 50 on it. It goes out midfield. The midfield presence and the midfield passes from this 49ers team has been good so far in the later half of this game, but that is not good. Demo comes out. Enzo isn't able to convert it. Now, Knight, I feel like the Niners got away with one there. They should try to convert here and will. Knight creams this one off the corner. Lazy with a shot. It goes down and high. Knight, only one with boost, but it gets saved away by Massau. Great save on the goal line. But the pressure isn't over. Enzo jumps at this one. Pasta jumps at this one. And the slowest shot you'll see of the night is shot by Lazy. Hat trick to his name. He is willing the Niners back into this game.
11 miles per hour. An absolute blistering goal being put on target by Lazy. And I guess just as I had mentioned, the speed coming into play for the Niners, the changeup is what worked. Slowed it back on down, got a goal, and now have possession with limited time on the clock. Can the Niners steal this game away? Lazy gets a very light bump onto Masao, and Dead Devil will now take possession. He has a teammate waiting in the wings, looking to go solo, fakes low, 50 out wide by Knight, but kept alive by Lazy. He takes his time, centers it out. Knight is there. The shot hits the ground. If there was any time on the clock, that's a goal. But it, unfortunately for the Niners, strikes the ground. Dead Devil will have a shot. It's turned out wide. Clemson still have life in this game.
That is unreal. Some would say on land that goes in, but we are not on land, so that is not what matters. Lazy now trying to make up for it. He goes into the air, gets the reset, tries to go over Enzo, but Enzo gets a great 50. Pop in the air is dangerous, though. Dead Devil trying to get something going, but gets 50'd out and away. Not a lot of boost on the side of Charlotte. Team bump coming out from Knight and Lazy. Looking for an infield pass is Pasta. Enzo able to get it by 2, but Dead Devil will scoop this one up. He gets it under Masao. Now it's just Enzo and Pasta. Low boost. Pasta gets a full one, but Dead Devil can't get it by one player. Now Pasta playing patient, waiting for his teammates to spawn and get some boost. He tries to take it to the air himself. Drops this one down, gets 50'd away by Knight. This team and both of these teams have actually stabilized really well. First half of the game was all Clemson. Second half of the game is all Charlotte. We'll have to see which team comes out in the third half of overtime.
And this is a massive moment in this series as well. We're tied 1-1. Masao looks for a beautiful redirect, but cannot quite connect with the net on that offering. But this is a huge game. Winner goes on to match point. Neither team wants to have that facing against them. We did just see a 2-game comeback come through on the side of Chapel Hill, but knowing the level these two teams play at, I'm certain neither of them want to have that going against them. Lazy has a weird flip away from the ball, and a good 51 by Pasta means Enzo will have a chance until a team bump comes through on the side of Clemson. A rare one, at least, when it comes to this game. Enzo still maintaining possession on low boost. Lazy up against Masao. That's floating towards net. A bump does come through from Enzo. However, Knight is still able to retreat back in time. Lazy winning a 50 means Masao has to dump into the corner. Knight will look to chase. Does win the race. Up high. Dead Devil cannot beat Masao to the ball. Booming clear back in field. Ball picking up pace as Knight looks to find Dead Devil downfield. No, will take it on his own. Dribble can be met by Masao. And once again, the ball will be stuck at the midfield mark as we hit 2 minutes in extra time.
When I see this Clemson rotation and when I watch them catch rotation, they look unbeatable in this series. But right now, they're getting the first pass. They're not connecting on the second pass, though. Dead Devil does get a great 50 in the midfield line, and Knight will scoop it up. He's trying to play the B, but Masao does get another save. Quick shot from Dead Devil, saved away by Pasta. Sub v sub, and it looks like Pasta came out on top that time. He does get bumped, though, by Lazy. Dead Devil trying to keep the pace up. Pops this one, but it gets intercepted by Enzo. Knight keeps this close, buying some time for his teammates. Now Enzo with a full tank of boost, trying to make something happen. Drops the reset, though, but here comes Lazy. We know his mechanics are always on display. This one gets faked out by a couple of players. Dead Devil off the ceiling, trying to make it go in, but Pasta's defense is too strong. Knight now trying to get a Doomsy dish, but Enzo is there to intercept it. Dead Devil presses the issue, but gets flicked over, and now the ball careens back into the blue half. Wide open net, not enough power on the shot. Knight able to get this save. This has been a crazy overtime. 3 goals for each team, 3 minutes in. Who do you think's going to come out on top?
I mean, jeez, man, it is so hard to tell right now because both teams have had great opportunities at the other's net. The most recent one being brought on by Clemson. Masao will even dish that one all the way back downfield. He's trying to keep the ball in the blue half, but that touch does get away, and Knight will immediately pressure it as he loves to do. Knight, a very active first-man challenger on a lot of different opportunities. Now it's going to be Pasta, however, with the chance downfield. Knight is able to get the redirect while being harassed on the back line as well. Masao and Enzo run into each other in midfield on that challenge. Knight to the sidewall will have a double. Underneath was Dead Devil, but here comes the pass towards Lazy. Cleared out wide. Enzo harassing Dead Devil. He's got no boost. Enzo's just going to bully him, and Mesa will get credit for the goal. That is a savage way for Clemson to take the win.
Masao drops a thou in that game. Enzo picking on the sub, just running under him. Didn't even get a bump. He got a trip. He was just juggling him down the whole blue side of the pitch, and that's what gives Clemson the win. This is the series that I'm hoping for. Clemson going to bounce back in this one. That was crazy. They held on for the first 2.5 minutes. Niners came screaming back. They had a ball that hit the ground at the goal line. At the goal line. The ball was 99% of the way in the net, and then they lose to a bump. That is a tilter, but I think both of these teams have to be proud. That was a phenomenal overtime and exactly what I was hoping for from this series.
And not just any bump, but Enzo literally just sat underneath Dead Devil the whole time. Basically dribbled him into his own net. It is brutal. It is a humiliating goal to have to concede, but it's one that Clemson will walk away with, especially with their heads high. And as you had said, that's a 1,000-point game coming through from Masao, one of the more seasoned players on the side of Clemson. He had 2 goals. He had 6 saves as well. 6 saves from Pasta as well. The offense from Clemson was great early on. The defense is why they are not just in this series, but in the advantageous position of being on double match point. What a bounce back it would be for Clemson to take down the Niners, and they have the opportunity to do so here in Game 4.
I just want to reiterate what you just said, just real quick. What you were talking about with the saves on defense, 15 saves. 15 saves is what it takes to take one game over UNC Charlotte. They had 18 shots on net, so that means every single shot was on net, but 15 times out of 18, a Clemson player was there. You're going to have to stop this one, though, and Masao is there. The onslaught of offense is coming out on Charlotte yet again, but they haven't been able to get a consistent way through. The defense from Clemson has seemed to have stabilized. The rotation has stabilized, and that is what's led to such a strong showing. But this is dangerous. Knight puts one on. Masao with another save. 2 saves already in the opening 30 seconds. This could be another dangerous game. Normally, I don't like when a team is on offense or on defense, for a long period of time. But if it's Clemson, I don't really mind it. It's working out for them, and they just need a quick counterattack. I imagine that's what we're going to see in this game if Charlotte keeps up the pressure.
We'll find now. Lazy is applying pressure right away, and Enzo has no more boost. Dead Devil wins the race. Knight on the follow-up does beat Pasta to the near post side. It is the Niners who were able to strike first. Lazy got that bump onto Enzo. And Dead Devil able to beat Masao as well. Knight beating out Pasta. It was just pure speed and aggression from the Niners to get there first.
And we've called this. We both said this. We said Charlotte feels like they control the pace of play. I do like when Clemson's on defense. I think the team to do really well. Whoa, as it almost squeaks through. Lazy's shot almost gets by all 3. But I still don't like it. I prefer, if I was a Clemson fan, that Clemson be on offense instead of on defense for 4 minutes in a game. But it sometimes works out for them, but not if Lazy's going for stuff like this off the ceiling. He isn't able to squeak this one through, and a great 50 comes out. Now it's Knight's turn. He doesn't have a lot of boost. He's going to go for a reset, fakes it down. Pasta with a touch. Dead Devil isn't able to get the beat on that play. Lazy's up early, though. Gets a 50 down under. Let's see. Pasta is the only one up for the ball. Not enough boost in the tank. Lazy did well to buy his teammates just a little bit of time. We're finally getting out of the orange half into the blue zone. Masao puts one on net, and Knight is able to get a save. Postix goes early. He gets beat, though, but both his teammates are there. Another uncharacteristic, I don't know if I can call it that anymore, Enzo and Masao double committing onto the ball yet again. We've seen that a few times this series, and this is where Charlotte strikes when the iron is hot.
Now Lazy's going to be up next to the ball, up against Masao. Does lose the challenge, but Knight has boost while Masao has nothing left in the tank. Knight's touch does get away, so Dead Devil will have to clean up the mess. Gets an extra touch as well over the head of Pasta, forcing Enzo to retreat in full, trying to start the offense from ground zero, but Charlotte's not even giving them a chance at breaking out of their own half. Masao will have to force it as he does with the full field clear. Dead Devil with the pass down towards Lazy. He'll start offense from the corner. One touch, Pasta bumped off the ball. Masao, no contact. Dead Devil going to look for Lazy on the pass. Back in field towards Dead Devil. Just can't find the mark. Beautiful passing play from Charlotte. But right now, they look confident, they look comfortable, and they look poised to win this game. The question is, can they add a little bit of insurance and security to this lead? There's an opportunity in front for Knight, but the floater escapes him.
Shots just a little bit wide for Charlotte, but they're getting the reps in. The last couple of shots have just squeaked a little bit wide, but it is still dangerous. If they tighten those up, then this game could be 3-0 with 2 minutes left. Unfortunately for Charlotte fans, it's still 1-0, which means Clemson can easily get their Tiger Claws in and get back into this series. Pasta gets bumped off this one. Enzo looking for a shot. Squishy save comes out from Lazy. Quick shot from Masao. Lazy able to get another 50 on it yet again. Great defense coming out from the Charlotte team as well as sustained offense. Knight with a boost grab. Lazy taking his time, trying to find something for himself. Trying to get a 50. Gets a 50. Goes under 2. Dead Devil with a shot, but he can't connect on it. Knight now has a lot of time on the ball. Full tank of boost. Let's see what he can do with it from his own corner. Puts it down. Tries to get a pinch with Lazy, but it gets popped away by Pasta. This one goes mid. Masao with a slow shot on, and Knight able to save it away.
That felt like a really good opportunity, especially considering that touch from Lazy from the sidewall really set up Clemson for success, but will not find its way through. It required every single player on the side of Charlotte to commit for that ball defensively, but now Pasta looking for bumps. Unsuccessful up against Lazy. Now Enzo does steal that mid boost, looks to turn on the ball, does get around Dead Devil. Up next will be Pasta, faked out, Mace out, downfield, bumps on the night, being offered up, bar and out. Golden opportunity for the Tigers now with double commit from the Niners. Pasta popped up, following the ball, bumps Knight off of it. Up next, Mace-out, shot on target, it's gonna sneak its way through to the far post. More bumps being attempted by Clemson, and if you can't beat them, you might as well remove them as Enzo goes head hunting.
That was an absolutely diabolical bump from Enzo, and why not? It's been working all series. He did it against Dead Devil in the last game to get the win, and now he does it against the defender to get a tie goal. Crazy shot coming out from Nassau, by the way. It was slow, but it was a unbelievably tight angle from the corner. Dead Devil trying to put this one in, and he's on the board. A return demo coming out from Charlotte on to Clemson, and just like that, after so much time had passed, Charlotte takes it in just a few seconds.
And Charlotte says, whatever you can do, we can do better. That is a perfect bump out in front of the net to right away answer back and reclaim a lead. However, still got to be careful because Clemson are dangerous. They look better than they did last week. That is for sure. The question is, how good can they be? Can they be good enough to fight back and still take this game? Because they find themselves down in this game. They are up in the series, so they can afford a loss here. But if there's anything you don't want to do, it's that you don't want to go to Game 5 against Charlotte. And right now, it looks like it is an inevitability.
I think Nate accidentally hit copy-paste on the script for this week because right now we're following game and series 1 to a T. We have the team who comes out wins first, loses the next two, and now has won the fourth. We'll be able to see, maybe not, Lazy able to get this save. I didn't expect him to be back in net, but it might have been a planned play from Charlotte. We'll have to see if Charlotte can complete the copy-paste from the last series or if Clemson can come out strong. If Nate was a little bit more creative with the script writing and had the last game flipped. Lazy trying to get one for the road, just showing off the mechanics a little bit, stalls on that one, and the ball hits the ground. Niners take game number 4. Are we going to see a repeat of what we saw in series number 1, McMaster?
Oh man, it just feels like it right now because all of the offensive pressure belongs to the Niners. They had 14 shots. Now, granted, Clemson still had 8, but the fact that you had Mace-out with 6 saves last game in overtime, and in regulation this time Mace-out had 7 saves, that's just not a recipe for success on the side of Clemson. You can defend as long as you like, but you still gave up 3. It is a tough challenge that they face, and now momentum once again belongs to the Niners, the most experienced group in all of C3. They're ready to take this one down. They look good. Dead Devil has been great. He assisted 2 goals. He assisted 2 goals while scoring one of his own. Many saves coming out from the other 2 players in Lazy and Knight as well. It's just so hard to pick who's going to win this because there's moments where Clemson look brilliant. There's moments where they're stumbling over themselves. There's moments where the Niners have just all the pressure in the world. And then next thing you know, all of them have 0 boosted net. I do not know which way it's going to go, but I have an unfortunate feeling that this game is going to be decided by some sort of unfortunate mistake. I hope not, but there's just an inkling that I'm feeling right now.
It could be yet another Clemson bump in 10 seconds of overtime. We finally make it all the way there, and then it's just a bump off kickoff and it's over. Or it could be a 50-50 on the goal line when the nerves are too high. But one thing we do know for sure, it will be an absolute amazing match. We're about to dive into game number 5, the second 5-game series of the night. Hopefully it can continue into the later ones. Knight and Nassau get a good 50. Pasta gets a bump onto Lazy. Dead Devil with a flick over to Pasta. Pasta trying to get a quick shot on. 50 comes out. It looks like they kept it close. Knight and Lazy 50'd each other, but it worked out for them in the end. Lazy now taking it up to himself. Not a lot of boost. Nassau fakes the challenge and gets over the bump from Knight. Knight pops this one mid, looking for a teammate, but no boost on the side of Charlotte. Lazy now able to get a full tank. Knight not able to catch up with it, though. It looks like Clemson did well with their boost grabs in the opening 30 seconds of game time, because if Knight had 12 boosts in the tank, he would have been able to put that one home.
And that was a classic Knight and Lazy connection being attempted out in front of the net. These two pass to each other all the time, and you see it right here again on the breakout opportunity. Pasta has to cover the backboards. There's no rebound opportunities, but the demo could open things up. Temporary odd man situation in favor of Charlotte. Knight looking to put it away. Mesau, again, the denial. I'm curious what the total save count for this man is through the entire course of this series, because the defensive showing has been nothing short of outrageous from Mesau. But right now, it has to be converted into offense. Right now, it is still tied at 0. This is the perfect time for Clemson to get themselves on the board, especially with Knight and Dead Devil double committing, but it's going to be Lazy on the pop. Knight with control. The reset around Enzo, not on target. Mesau again guiding the ball to safety.
Mesau pops this one mid. Pasta to Mesau, but Mesau can't get up back to it. Enzo trying to keep the pressure on, but Lazy does get a good touch. Lazy to Knight. Mesau able to put it over into the corner. Dead Devil trying to get a quick shot, but Enzo able to cut him off. Mesau now up onto this one. Gets called off by a teammate or faked it. Now he elects to pop it mid to Pasta. Right now, I think that Charlotte is just a little bit more intentional with their touches, finding their teammates just a little bit better, but we're starting to see Clemson regain. Passes are getting just a little bit closer. They're starting to break out on offense. Fakes coming out from Pasta to Enzo to Mesau, but he can't find the back of the net because Knight is just too strong. This one's left from and for Lazy. Pasta gets a beat on him. Over to Dead Devil. Dead Devil pops to the corner. He does get it around Enzo, though. Mesau with a shot, but now here comes Charlotte. Not enough boost in the tank. Never mind! Pasta's the best player on the pitch! He's able to get back for that one and keep us deadlocked. Knight trying to change that, though. Enzo is able to send it away.
I think one of the things you mentioned earlier, the intent behind the touches right now for Charlotte, it is there, and the intent is great, but it has not lined up to anything on the scoreboard. And Clemson are slowly creeping their way further and further forward. Now they'll have to break back out. Enzo just able to stretch out and get his fingers on the ball. Barely able to get that one out wide. Mesau on the clear. One-on-one up against Lazy. Takes to the corner. Does get the double tap. Looking to set up a teammate. The shot low. What a save from Lazy to keep that one safe. Dead Devil looking to break out. 50 lost, but Lazy will still keep the ball in the Clemson half. It is Pasta on the turn from the heavens with boost. Infield pass towards Enzo. Intercepted by Dead Devil. Saved by Mesau again. Limited boost. Still gets the flick over the top. Lazy's touch gets away, and Knight has to clean up the mess. Things starting to look a little bit weary on the side of Charlotte. Cracks looking to show in the armor, but regardless, neither team has conceded. Neither team has broken through the other's defense. This is one for the ages.
I love the clash of play styles here. Charlotte, just the aggression, the mechanics, the flashiness. And then we have Clemson with the solid defense. Mesau getting yet another save. He has, I believe, 16 saves in the last 3 games. He is basically single-handedly soloing this Charlotte team on defense. He's trying to do it again on offense, though. Lazy does get a beat to him on the ball. Pasta up to Mesau. Mesau with a quick shot, but Knight able to get the save. Enzo will intercept it, popping it bad mid for Pasta. Pasta gets a beat, putting it back into the corner, and will stay on it. Trying to put this one mid for another teammate. Enzo turns on it, but gets bumped off the ball by Dead Devil. This one sent back into the Clemson half. Knight is on it, and Mesau with another save. Add another to the tally. This man has 17, but nothing on the board for either team on offense in this game number 5.
We're down to the final 45 seconds. Something has to give, but the question is, will it give in regulation? It is going to be Pasta to guide out to the sidewall. Only one touch as Knight will follow. Dead Devil looking for bumps. Mesau still able to get the save. Make it 18. Keep counting them up, but when will too much be too much? Pasta spiking from the ceiling. Dead Devil now into the corner. Mesau, one touch, the shot. Enzo, the goal line save. The ball halfway through. It is not enough. It has to be fully over the goal line, and it is not. Final 15. What do these teams have left?
I am in shock. I can't believe that Clemson has put on such a staunch defense yet again. Mesau does get a good 50. Dead Devil will scoop it up. Demo comes out. Pasta with a shot. Lazy able to get this save. No time on the clock. Charlotte elects to put it down. And ladies and gentlemen, we have overtime in game number 5.
Oh, and that is a big miss off the kickoff. Bumps being attempted, but Lazy held his nerve. It'll be Dead Devil and Lazy running into each other as they look to push forward on offense. The Demo comes through. It's traded Demos out in front. Knight. The shot is saved by none other than Mesau again. One of the most incredible defensive performances I've ever seen in a C3 best of 5. Enzo will look to try to turn this into offense. Plays low up against Dead Devil. That shot will not find its way on target. Pasta guiding the ball out wide. Knight, the turn. Infield pass. No contact made. Mace out. They clear to the sidewall, but Knight's going to have a chance. Stealing. Double tap. Not going to be on target. Felt like a great opportunity for Charlotte, but they're going to have to keep on fighting.
I can't believe Nassau has 19 saves in 3 games. Unbelievable defensive performance, and this could be the chance. Enzo now with a full tank of boost up against Lazy. Isn't able to find the touch. Great touch by Lazy over into the corner. Pasta over to himself, looking for a teammate mid. No one's there. Enzo's now last back with a full tank of boost. It's going to be Enzo versus Lazy. Lazy gets bumped off the ball. Great touch from Nassau onto that player. Dead Devil with a quick shot, and make it 20 from Nassau. This guy is unbeatable on defense right now, but that isn't what gets you goals. Offense is, and this is the man who's been so dangerous. Now, Dead Devil, chance to put in the dagger, the substitute, put the flip reset, but Pasta, sub v sub, able to get the save. Lazy now fakes out one. Master able to get the save, make it 21. Keep going, lad. This one awkwardly in front of net, though. This could be dangerous, but no one from Charlotte was ready for that. And now Enzo takes the 50 into the corner. We'll have to see if Charlotte can break through or if Clemson can hold on.
Enzo's going to have to make a goal line save on the pre-flip. It cannot. The shot from Knight barely crosses over the goal line, barely beating Mace out to the ball. And Enzo on no boost cannot get back in time. A minute 44 into overtime. The Niners will end up taking it in dramatic fashion. What a game. What a series. Not enough credit can be given to Clemson on how hard they fought, but unfortunately, it is just too little. The winners are the Niners in, honestly, one of the best series I've ever seen casting in this league. That was insane.
21 saves from one player on the Tigers.
In 3
and
games.
Still, it was not enough. 7 saves average per game. He put up 8 in this one, including the overtime. But
that doesn't
still,
even count games 1 and 2.
I know! It was unbelievable from Nassau on the defensive side. Unfortunately, it could not translate for the Tigers onto the offense. Looks like the Niners will come away with this one. I did predict it, but I did not predict it to go in that fashion. Like you said, after game number 4, it might have been a kind of a weird goal, and it kind of was disappointing. After all that buildup, it was just a soft floater onto the net. Enzo couldn't get the pre-flip, and the Niners take it in 5. Nate, not creative enough with the script. We have followed the exact same format as we did in the first series of the day.
Yeah, and Mesa was even in here asking for a count of the saves. Here's what we can tell you. In games 3, 4, and 5, you combined for 21 total saves. In just those 3 games. We don't know about games 1 and 2. We'll have to look back. But 21 saves. You had 6 in game 3, 7 in game 4, 8 in game 5. Mental stuff. It might just be a record. I would certainly think so. Over the span of 5 games, I'm blown away by it. And it's almost bittersweet, knowing the effort he had on defense, that the Niners still came out on top. But regardless, the Niners played great. They had so much offensive pressure. They were a well-oiled machine. The entirety of overtime was spent in the orange half. It was phenomenal. But we're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we will have an interview with one of the Niners.
My body waiting for your soul in the backyard, in the backyard. Yeah. I'll take you where you wanna go. Get my passport. Waiting for you. Just waiting for you. I'm so close to breaking through. Don't stop waiting for you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the C3 Esports League. I'm McMaster, Colson, next to me in the booth. We are being joined by Knight from UNC Charlotte. Knight, that was, for lack of a better way of putting it, a war between you guys and Clemson. Your offense was flowing, but yet it still felt it felt almost impossible to get by them. You know what? Especially in the later games, you know, when you had the overtime and you had the defense making just so many saves, was there a point where it started to get almost frustrating? Like, how did you overcome not being able to quite break through as often as it seemed you would?
Dude, it felt like we were playing against KC, man. Like the blue, the wall was just so strong. We had so many shots, but their defense was insane. There were to be fair, there were quite a few shots that we had that weren't too good, but we had a lot of great ones that every time they kept getting saved, we're like, dude, these guys got to break at some point, right? But it was insane. Even in the 2v2 I had with Lazy, like their defense was just so good. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure we took like 50 years off Big Man's lifespan and seeing how close that series was. But nah, Clemson is such a strong team. But even at LAN, when we played them last weekend, I like their defense was not nearly that good. Like that was insane.
I have a statistic for you. I just want to hear your honest reaction to it. Mashow had 25 saves in that series. He got 21 of them in the last 3 games. Just what do you have to say for that? Because I have nothing. I'm just in shock.
That's got to be like a C3 record, right? Like there's no way someone has more saves than that in a single series. Like we might need like a record. We might need to start getting records for C3 because that's an insane. I've never seen someone get that many saves in a series before. So, like, props to him, man. Like, I saw his points too. He was going insane every game. So,
he did have a great series and great sportsmanship coming on the side of Knight and UNC Charlotte. Another question I have for you is, like, what do you do when you're in that position? Like you alluded to it a little bit earlier, like surely they have to break. They have to break. But in game number 2, they held you to 0. You had shots, you had pressure. That was the 2's game number 2. They kept you with 0 goals for 4 minutes. And then you play against them for the rest of that series. And Nassau just has the best defensive performance. I'm going to say it right now in C3 history. Like, what are the comms like? Obviously, don't leak any strats or anything, but what else do you say to kind of keep that momentum, that aggression up? Because I know you like playing aggressive. What do you do to finally break through?
Yeah, I think we said this like game 2 was just demo Masao, and every time I looked to demo him, he was aware, like he knew every time he could. I guess he heard me, but like he was very aware. Every time I tried to demo and he jumped, he dodged, get out the way. Like that man was he was unstoppable on defense. Like we knew the main way, and Lazy did a great job of it. I think it was game 2 or 3. How we got that final goal was I think he bumped 2 of them, and that was like the only way we could have scored. So we're like, okay, we have to try and demo them a lot more, because obviously if we give them boost and we let them guard the backboard in the net, no shots going in with the way they're playing tonight. So demos were, I mean, a default, the main thing we were looking for, but they were also good at just being super aware. So that's why it made it so tough just to break through their defense. Even with starving them from boost, they were still making 0 boost saves, double committing, but still getting back and guarding the back post. Man, like, I don't know what to say. It was crazy. But for us, it was like the bumps that really got us through a couple of those games was just taking some of them out and being able to open up the net finally to where they could not stop it because they were dead.
Well, you guys played a great series, and, you weren't playing with one of your starters. Bala was not here for, reasons I'm not going to question, but Dead Devil really did not feel like a substitute, at least from the broadcast point of view. He felt like he very much fit in with the team. What was it like playing with him, and how well did he fit into the role that you guys needed him to play?
Dead Devil does a great job whenever he subs with us, just kind of trying to fill that role, because it is a little awkward, with Bala. Normally when he comes in, I try to play a little more aggressive, and he does a great job at playing a little more passive, but he also knows when to kick it up on offense too. Like he made a lot of good cuts that series. He wasn't, he was looking for bumps, making good passing plays. Like he overall can fit well. Even I don't think we've played with him in a while as a team, even though he is our sub. He's been super busy. So for him to just come in last second and be able to still, play well and play well around us, me and Lazy, like he is he's a great sub to have because he does a great job at adapting to us and the way we play.
I'd certainly say that's correct. I mean, at least off of what we saw, it really didn't feel like there was a big difference there. He played to a very high level, as of course did you and Lazy. Congratulations tonight on the victory. Any final things you would like to say before we wrap up here tonight?
I mean, not really. I'll give out the shout out. Shout out to my family watching at home. Not just my mom. Now I saw my dad and my sister's been in chats recently. So shout out to my entire family for supporting me. Shout out to my team. Shout out to Big Man. We finally have him back to as our coach. He's really helped us. And everyone else who supports us. Like it's amazing having all the support behind us because I think it's going to help us do a lot better at C3 this time around than last semester. So yeah.
Which is a crazy statement because you've won literally everything else outside of that. But you guys look great. You got the win. Enjoy it. Go ahead and celebrate with your teammates, coaches, family, everybody. Congratulations once again, Knight, on the victory. Colson, anything you want to say while since you and I's time is about done here on the booth?
I just want to say thank you to production, thank you to C3, thank you to Nate for letting me cast again. McMaster, it's been a pleasure. I think it was our first time casting together, and I'm sure chat and everyone else thought it went swimmingly. It has been an absolute privilege. I am going to shout out NC State. They're going to be our 10 o'clock matchup. My boys are going to be facing off against CCU later, so hopefully trying to get an upset in the standings. But other than that, I'll say shout out to my family, shout out to my friends, and thank you all for supporting me.
That's been Colson. I've been McMaster. The action is not done for the night. We still have 2 more matches here this evening. Up next is going to be UNC Greensboro up against East Carolina, and then NC State and Coastal Carolina wrap things up tonight. Styx and Skyline are coming into the booth. Make sure you welcome them with a very warm welcome. Have a blast. They're going to do a great job and keep enjoying the action. We'll be back here shortly.
Every time I leave, I hear your name, and it pulls me right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the C3 Esports League. As you see, we have two new casters in, as McMaster and Coulson did a great job casting the first two matches. But I am joined here with Styx for this matchup in East Carolina versus UNC Greensboro. The 5th seed versus the 16th seed, battling from the very bottom, trying to work their way up one win at a time. But they got to start here with a red-hot Spartans team that just upset Clemson last week.
Yeah, this UNCG team, I mean, I watched that game firsthand. Coulson and I were on the cast for that one, and we honestly didn't even know what to make of it. I mean, we thought Clemson was going to roll in here, probably going to, roll over these teams that we aren't used to seeing up at the top, and UNC Greensboro, I mean, they just came to play. So it's going to be very curious to see if they can keep up that level or if that was kind of a one-and-done thing, but I personally think they're here to stay.
I agree as well. As someone who came from UNC Greensboro, an alumni as well, and I help out coach every now and then. I like to see these boys' progression, so I'm not going to try to have bias tonight, as ECU, actually, my mother graduated from, so I know this kind of a battle of both, but doesn't matter. The Spartans versus the Pirates, the Lane Warriors versus the Sea Warriors, who's going to win? But right now, the lane's starting to strike first, as UNCG is going to have a nice play there. Nutella just pops it up, and no one's there to defend for East Carolina.
Yeah, no one there really on the back line. Just kind of just an odd play there. I think Nutella just kind of picked that up and carried it all the way past. No defender really able to put a hand up for that one. East Carolina gonna have to try to channel some of their success they've had in the past. I know this team has been able to compete on the land stage in the past, but they've fallen a bit from grace. Gotta see them kind of return to form here.
East Carolina used to be a hot team in the C3 who was, I remember the roster of Basically and friends that would run the
Chief
C3 be a threat.
and
But yeah, I mean, that whole entire roster, but obviously with them having to graduate, because, I mean, them getting a degree, it was the whole point of going to college. Yeah, unfortunately, the whole point of going to college. Now they're the replacements for them, so to say, on this main roster. They haven't looked as well structured. I know that with that old roster, they talked about how well they were when it came to like building team chemistry and hanging out as friends and doing all this kind of stuff that would implement themselves into the game. But East Carolina, the Pirates here, like I said, they're dead bottom of the leaderboard of C3. They got to find something like soon if they want to even have a chance at playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the ECU 6-man server, and there has been not as many posts about Basically's dinner plans as of late, and I feel like that might have something to do with this team's performance.
I mean, the Spartans as well. Like, this is going to be a hard matchup no matter what for the Pirates, because the Spartans, like I said, they're red hot. They just came off an upset win against Clemson, what a game from them against the Niners, even with a sub on both sides of each roster. An insane Game 5 overtime win for the 49ers. But the Spartans here, going into the UNCG, they only have one loss in the entire season, being against the #1 seeded South Carolina Gamecocks. So they're looking to strike a fire on every other team they play against, trying to take a higher seed, because they got upset in the regional playoffs, in the fall. Whenever we played at NC State, they were the 5th seed going into the playoffs themselves, and then we get there, they end up getting the 5th seed after coming out of the group stages, and then end up losing to Clemson, actually, after upsetting them, so got their revenge a little, but losing to them 4-2 to knock them out of the playoffs. So this is a team that has a fire lit under them that wants to come back and show that they are a dominant team in the C3, and another strike right there is going to prove it.
Yeah, this is really what you want to see coming out of UNCG. Soft, clinical play in the corner, manages to work around all 3 defenders. Save is just not quite there in time, and a comfortable 3-0 lead here, still with 2.5 minutes left to go. Plenty of time for ECU to make this one a little bit closer, see if they can make UNCG sweat a little bit. Now Ganji going to come off the top rope, going to try to set that one out into the midfield, but it's going to be Fatu. Fatu to the back where he finds the flip reset double. It is all Spartans right now.
Just that duo of Nutella and Fatu, those two are leading the way, and with that 3rd man in Dark, the new guy coming in after El Flaky unfortunately had to step away. He has been doing such wonders, and believe it or not, Dark he has appeared out of nowhere and just made a scene. I'm talking about this dude, kid you not right now, is Champ 3 in the game, yet he is playing like he is GC3 SSL level. He has peaked at, believe highest GC2. His mechanics are insane. His game sense, I've worked with him a bit, is also insane. It's getting up there. This is a guy that you need to watch out for, not only for the season, but for the playoffs coming up soon.
Greensboro looking like a well-oiled machine here. Fatu They're trying to push it in the corner. It's actually going to be Nutella. Push this off to the back. We're trying to find a pass out. Looking for chaos on the back line. Fatu now passes out to Darkaz. Darkaz looking for the second double tap of the game. That one just not quite on target. But Nutella, he's going to find the follow-up. I mean, I don't know what you can do here if you're ECU. It's just shot after shot coming at your net from every possible angle, and they're all going home.
Yeah, all three ECU players clumped up on the back line, something you don't want to see as a team, and unfortunately for them, no boost as well to work with, so it's just panic, hoping to get a touch out, anything that could have worked, but unfortunately for them, the only thing working is a UNCG shot on target by Nutella. So with a minute 45 remaining in this game, there's going to be a commanding lead for the Spartans, and the Pirates got to find something if they even want to have a chance, or maybe even get some momentum going into next game, because being down this much in a game can definitely be detrimental going into the rest of the series. Some teams look at it as like, okay, it's whatever, we go to the next game, it was just a hiccup. And other teams will look at it like, I can't believe we just lost that badly. The question is, though, how are the Pirates going to see it, and how are they going to adjust to it on the fly?
Yeah, I think their first order of business is going to have to be shutting down Nutella. Nutella already got a hat trick here in game one and shooting 100%. Can he find another? That one's going to be on target again. It's going to be a fourth for Nutella. 4 shots, 4 goals. He's just not missing.
I mean, it's just the 1-2, that duo that has been there so long for UNCG, Fatu Nutella. I've said it over and over again, but this is a duo that you have to watch out for any team that comes in. They know how to play around each other. They play twos. They are just so well acquainted with each other that it just looks like exactly what Flamingo said in the chat. It looks like a bloodbath whenever they're connecting on the right path. And right now at East Carolina, they're just holding on to what they have, and it's not much. It's a slimmer of hope going into the next 2 games, because if it continues like this for the Spartans, then the Pirates' glimmer of hope might just shine out altogether.
Yeah, Fatu now going to take this up the wall. He's got 100 boost to work with. Could use a flip, trying to find a drop down pass to Tella. I mean, it's just, 5 goals on 5 shots is probably one of the most impressive stat lines I've seen in a while.
I mean, that's just Nutella, man.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's crazy. That's just Nutella. And again, East Carolina, looking at the stats, 4 shots so far for them, but all 4 have been saved away for Greensboro. But compared to Greensboro, currently we have 11 shots on target and only 4 saves. So UNCG, the pressure is just mounting time and time again. East Carolina, they're trying to get it out of their half, but you'll see here, every single time it looks like they get it through the mid, it just ends up going back onto their half. They might have that little chance where they think it goes on target, but then you see a UNCG defender right there to finish it off and make sure that that does not go in the back of their net. So again, with 10 seconds remaining, we will see this game come to a close in a dominant fashion for UNC Greensboro. Maybe one more for the road just to showboat a little bit as Fatu tries to hit a pre-jumping Nutella going through the air. And unfortunately for him, it's actually still staying up. I'm kind of shocked. Maybe going for one more for the road, but unfortunately for East Carolina, that is going to be a 7-0 loss for game number 1, showing why they're at the bottom of the leaderboard for C3.
Yeah, Nutella going for the pre-jump of doom and despair there at the end. And it's kind of felt like that's been really the story of this game, when Nutella put up 5 goals by himself off 5 shots, shooting 100%. He outshot pretty much the entirety of ECU. I think he actually tied them in shots, but ECU, they really only got that one good look at the end that I could remember. I really didn't see much opportunity for them. They got the one shot that kind of pinged off the post right at the very end. You thought that might be the spark for them going into game 2, but just not quite on target. I think they really need to find a way to get out of their own end. They're getting stuck, getting starved out. They're going to have to pick up those pads and see if they can really try to get some 50s, maybe get a counterattack, see if UNCG can get a little over-aggressive, see if they can get a little more ego. But, that really feels like their only option out is some quick counterattacks off some overcommits.
Agreed. So far, like we said, they've been stuck on their half. All 3 have been sitting on that goal line, just waiting for something to fall to them and hope they can get it on to the other side. But looking at the stats a little bit, I have on my side here, for UNCG compared to the 43% for East Carolina. So not as dominant as you would truly think with a scoreline of 7-0. It still showed that ECU was fighting. They were putting up as much as they could, trying to get it onto the other half. But unfortunately for them, Greensboro just overpowered them every single time. It looked like they had a chance getting downfield. So they got to flip that switch. Maybe get some more demos. Try to open up the midfield a little, because right now that midfield is all Spartans' way, and the Pirates, who are swashbuckling their way to another 0-3 loss, have to try to find the right step on that wooden peg.
Well, you think that might have been an opportunity here. Big win up in the corner for Cabbage, but no one really there to take advantage of it. It's going to stall back out in the midfield. Cabbage now pushes into the corner. Can't get around Nutella. Nutella going to lose a 50 over to Fatu. Now Fatu picks it up in the air. He's going up high, up off the ceiling. Can he find the shot down? Goes towards the backboard. Shot coming from Dark as it's off the crossbar, and Nutella's going to find the dagger. Already in game number 2. They're up 1-0 just 30 seconds into the game.
Spartan is what a Spartan does, and right now these Warriors are striking hot with every opportunity they get, just shoving this tip of their spears through the hearts of these East Carolina Pirates. And so far, East Carolina 8 unanswered goals against them. For the Spartans, just nothing to come through as we see the aggression still remaining. The Spartans going through everything. Nutella on that back line trying to clear it through as ECU still hanging on, seeing if they can get anything out. Fatu gets a touch to the middle, and maybe a shot here from Nutella to get another one on the board, but unfortunately for him, that is a pass that does not work. A rare sight to see from them. Fatu tries to go up high over the 50 for Gengi, but goes into the hands of Nutella. Nutella tries to take it to the corner with low boost, gets a pop mid, but no second man to follow, and East Carolina will be able to recollect a little bit right before UNCG just ends up turning right back onto their heels and going for another.
Yeah, I think the first thing I wanted to hang on a minute. That one might just be free. A triple tap for Fatu. That one a bit of an open net, but it really doesn't matter. I don't think a defender really would have done much anyways. But I think the big thing we've noticed here is that every time UNCG goes up in the air, there's a lot of respect they have. I think that maybe ECU might want to just throw their bodies at them whenever they go up like that and not give them so much space. I think that might be why they're losing some of these aerial battles so hard.
Yeah, these aerial battles, I mean, it's been in the air for most of the game. It feels like for UNCG, like you said. And, I mean, it's just domination after domination. Anytime that ball is floating in front of the net, it just feels like it's an automatic goal added to the scoreboard for UNCG. Just shot after shot off, pass after pass. This is an unselfish team, and it is showing every pass leads to a goal pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you saw in that first goal, you see Dark as going up in the air. You think he's probably aiming net. Both defenders in the net deciding to sit grounded, wait for the shot to come, and it never does. He flips it backboard, and then it's another touch off the backboard again. I mean, there's absolutely no rest for this ECU team as another threatening opportunity gets pushed away, but it takes all 3 defenders to do so. So Nutella picks up the mid boost. He's going around the corner, gets up over 1, finds a drop down pass in the midfield. No one going to be able to crash in on that one, and Cabbage got to find a brief moment of relief, but the ball goes straight back towards net. Nutella picks this one up again. Jerbear finally got to find it clear, but it once again falls back to a UNCG player. ECU trying their darndest to get out, but they can't seem to push it past the midline.
I mean, I was about to say, I don't think I've really seen it past the midline in general, except for now. Here's a chance ECU might finally be able to get their first on the board of this series, but still being kept shut out by Greensboro as that shot goes off the 4th man, and that would work as Fatu now trying to take it back onto the other end and take a shot on target. Gengi with a diving save gets one. Dark goes for the next on the follow-up, and Dark will strike on that left side of the net. Once again, ECU does their best on the back line to keep it out, but you just can't count out any of these players on UNC Greensboro.
Now, once again, we see an opportunity that might possibly go in for ECU, but for the second time this series, they've been thwarted by the post. This time the crossbar. All 4 players for UNCG on the same page, linking up to keep the scoreboard clean. Now Fatu off the backboard, looking for a musty flick up over 1. He's going to find Nutella. Nutella now through the air, trying to push it up over the top. It's off the crossbar. Darkaz going to get blocked out by Jerbear. Still in a threatening spot. Fatu up in the air. Fatu for the second touch, not on target. Genji going to slow it down. Trying to find the dribble. Nutella pre-jumps, but not going to make contact. Darkaz going to clear the line.
And I mean, just you see how much the ball is being left onto this orange half there. ECU just struggles time and time again, and I hate to say this usually because it just feels like such like a rude comment to say to the opposing team whenever it happens, but it's just the truth. It feels like UNCG is just treating this like free play. Like, they're going for the pre-jumps. They're going for these fancy mechanics that you usually wouldn't see in game when you're trying to win. And they're still scoring off of these, just the passes going through. ECU, they might have a diving commit on the back end on that goal line, getting one touch out, but a second man is always there to follow. and ECU, they just cannot find a way out no matter what they do.
Yeah, they're getting absolutely boxed in right now. Cabbage going to try to change the script, but immediately challenged at the midfield line. That's what ECU probably wants to start doing whenever Nutella is on the ball, whenever he's getting these opportunities, but they just simply haven't had the boost to do so. You know, UNCG's just been able to sit back, collect the boost, and find that easy clear ball, picks it up and takes it up for an air dribble. It's been almost free for them as they've just very methodically worked their way out. It's like you said, they're in free play. I mean, they're almost sitting in a training pack with all these easy balls they're getting.
Just another ball popped up in the mid, and Nutella already there to read it, trying to get that pass out to Jaber, maybe get some offense going, get the turn, but fortunately for ECU, just no one falling off of that. Now Cabbage getting the beat. It just ends up actually getting beat as Jaber now trying to recover into the side. But once again, UNC Greensboro holding on to this ball, going for another one off the ceiling, almost the double tap to go through, but ECU, 8 saves for ECU, by the way, I will say, off the 5 goals that we've seen, and only 2 saves for UNC Greensboro. Now make that 6 goals for the Spartans as they're looking to recreate what they did last game. Maybe it's another 7-0 win. Like, I mean, Sticks, do you think there's anything they can do to, like, genuinely, do you think there's anything they can do to, like, change the script? Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, these are always my least favorite kind of games to cast, because these situations are always so hard to try to come up with some wisdom for the losing team, and you know, everything that you think to say probably is not going to change the outcome of this one. It's Foster, he's going to pick that one up through the air, going to try to, I mean, it's just, that one almost goes in on its own. I mean, ECU, they're going to have a spark. I'm hoping they can pick up a game and not get perfect swept here in game number 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, pick up a goal, not a game. Game might be a little too much to ask. We're hoping for a goal.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, Sticks. I don't think they just need a spark.
Oh, no.
I think they're trying to get Agent Swarm in here, so this will be interesting. Cabbage actually calls a timeout, so
they're going to make us talk for a while.
They are going to make us talk for a while, but going back onto your point of they're going to need a spark, they're going to need more than a spark. They're going to need a whole entire bonfire lit under their rear ends to even get something to go through. But right now, it just looks like ECU stuck. Like,
it might need to be a spark combined with a whole can of gasoline for the PCs of UNCG, is what I'm thinking we might need.
Yeah, probably some gasoline, maybe some kerosene, just like anything you can to like make that fire larger, like get some branches, go into the woods. Like, I don't know what they need in order to help them figure out what they're doing wrong in order to correct it. But Greensboro right now, they look like they're just passing with the wind. Like, the wind's flowing right behind them. They're letting them carry them, and it's just free goal after free goal almost.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the best of 5 timeouts come out too much this season. Not sure exactly how much it's going to do. Maybe just trying to calm the nerves of the team, see if they can, try to play their game a little bit more. Apparently, Mr. Flamingo is just here to hate on ECU. Apparently, is what's going on in the chat. But maybe this is just to try to get the guys to calm down a little bit, maybe play their game, see if they can, maybe work their way into this game, try to push it to something a little more competitive than we've seen so far.
Agreed. And ECU, like I've said before, their chances of playoffs are very, very slim just because of the performances they've had in the past for the season so far. So this is a must-win game. If they want to even have a chance at playoffs, they have to get this back. And I don't even know if they do technically have a chance, but if they want any at all, it has to start here. They have to get this reverse sweep. With UNC Greensboro getting their sub in, now Agent will come in for, I believe they're taking Dark out, if I'm correct, and they are indeed. Dark is a very good piece for the Spartans in order to play around as their new guy coming into the season. But Agent, I also know this guy on the back of my hand, and he is also a very good player. Do not get me wrong, he will show out as well. So he's going to be trying to show up on the main stage here, being able to finally be put into the main roster situation, not having to play for the B team.
Yeah, not often we get to see some of these guys show up in the back half of series. This is probably the first time I've ever actually seen a sub get called for a reason that wasn't a tech-related issue. We're gonna see if he can show up on the main stage. Not often you get to show up and really get an opportunity right here in the limelight. We'll see if he can make something happen, or if ECU can kind of take advantage of this opportunity that they've been given here. But it's just gonna be Nutella off the ceiling, almost as fast as it was in game number 2.
ECU finally looked like they were getting some pressure, but once again, it's just thrown into the hands of Greensboro. I mean, if it's that free, if they're just going to keep handing you the ball over and over again, then just might as well take it. You know, this is the nice gesture to do, but ECU, it just feels like they cannot get anything on the opposite net. The shots are so low. They probably only had like 5 this entire series, if not less, because UNCG has just been in such control, and maybe a shot on the own net of UNC Greensboro is floating in front, but no one is there for the Pirates. That's probably the best chance they've had this entire time, and it comes off a mistake from Greensboro, and still no one is there to follow.
Yeah, a couple of good shooting looks there for ECU. None of them, unfortunately, find the net, but it's what they want to try to find more of. See if they can find those seams, find the little gaps that UNCG might give them in these situations. Agent got to find a demo in the midfield. Holy flick to the backboard. Is that shot going to come through? Fatu can't put it on target. That would have been quite the assist out of Nutella, but ECU lucky to not get clipped on there. This one stays stuck in the corner. Nutella trying to work through Cabbage. Cabbage going to get a couple good 50s popping out the midfield line. It's only going to go as far as Fatu. Now Gerber trying to find Cabbage on a pass again. This is the second time I've seen a pass head over to Cabbage and it'd be just behind his car. ECU not doing themselves any favors on the offensive end with these passes. I mean, they have the right ideas, trying to get it out into space. No one really for UNCG would have been there to challenge that, but the pass just not good enough. It's going to be behind the car, and it's going to stall out any form of offense, and UNCG just pushes right back towards the box. That's a big fake out of Fatu. Tries to go top corner. He works through the defense, pulls out the scalpel, and just surgically slices through the ECU defense.
I mean, the mind games are absolutely insane there, Sticks. Like you said, absolutely surgical, just baiting one in to jump. Didn't know what to do, got caught off his feet, or should I say tires in this case. And the second man just didn't know. Should he challenge? Should he stay back and play for the shot? Well, guess what? Too little, too late. You decided too long, and it's going to be a free net for Fatu. He strikes that every time of the week. So another goal going through on the Greensboro side, and up 2-0. It just looks like such a heavy task for ECU to come back from, even though it's only 2 goals. UNCG has been in control this entire time. Again, ball possession stats, 66% in possession for the Greensboro Spartans and only 34 for the East Carolina Pirates, as another one goes through for Nutella off the pass from Fatu. That 1-2. Iron strikes hot once again.
I'm honestly shocked it's only 66%. I probably would have ballparked it at 80. It has felt all UNCG.
It's fair to assume that. Like, it sincerely feels like it has been on that orange half more than, like, 90% of the game.
Fatu, top corner! At this point, it's just playing with your food.
I mean, he loves that top corner. That's the second time in a row he's put it there.
I mean, with every goal, another hole gets blown in the side of the ship. ECU seems to be sinking here in game number 3. 2 minutes left to go before this one will finally be put to rest. Fatu probably looking for a little bit more. He's got another flip reset, trying to find the pass over. He's got to be lofted just over his teammate. Maybe still working on the synergy between the A and B team players. Fatu going towards the sidewall again, trying to push this middle. Cabbage only going to get as far as Agent. That one bangs off the corner. Agent trying to drop it down mid. No one going to be there for UNCG. Nutella now pops it up. Good demo from Gerber. Going to force Agent back. He's the only one there. It's off the crossbar. Can they find the goal? No, Cabbage can't get through the squishy save. You were hoping that maybe ECU was going to find one here, but it's a Herculean effort on the defensive end from the new guy, the sub. Keeps the board clean, keeps the perfect sweep alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, so far, whenever you took over casting the last time, I was gonna say that there wasn't a single player on the Pirates yet after over half a game to reach even triple digits in points until a save came through earlier. And speaking of saves, so a great diving save by the sub, like you said, and Agent. But ECU, it just feels like, as a commentator and as a viewer right now, you're not looking to them say, okay, can they come back and win this? We're more like, Can they just score a goal this entire series? That's what we're hoping for. I feel like even if you aren't a fan of ECU, you kind of feel bad and want to see them score a goal. So just every opportunity they get, it feels like you're holding your breath, waiting for it to at least see if it might go in. But still, UNCG's defense just holding on strong. They want to have a perfect sweep. They want to show why they are one of the most dominant teams in the C3 right now. As again, another save on the backboard. Nutella's just parked his car, and I mean, Sticks, is there really anything else to say about the series?
Yeah, other than maybe if Ganji could put this one on target, he's not going to be able to get it. I was hoping maybe they could get a punish right there in the 2v3, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much. 15 seconds left. That one's a good pass down. Ganji not going to get through Fatu. Fatu now going to dribble this out. He fakes past one, pushes into the corner. They're going to have to go the length of the field to prevent the perfect sweep. Ganji in the air. Tries to go for the flip reset. Nutella revives himself for half a second just to challenge that ball. And that might be one of the most dominant series I've seen in quite a while.
Agreed. A perfect sweep. You don't see that much often, Sticks, but when you do, it's definitely a sight to see, especially with how dominant that series was. I mean, we're talking about a 17-0 goal line stat over a total of 3 games. I mean, you cannot ask for a more dominant performance than that from the Spartans.
Yeah, utter domination. At least when at least when South Carolina is playing a team like this, and we're gonna be beating them by that. At least SJT will throw me a game in there just to make it a little bit more interesting on stream. But UNCG does not quite have the same thought for production that we do on our own private streams. But absolutely dominant win from UNCG. Not much more you could ask them to do there. And that's all I really could say about that. Sometimes you get a game where, I mean, the score is the score, and there's not much past that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, it just seemed like they were trying to boost their game differential and their goal differential as much as possible for going into playoffs in case they need it to move up in seeding. Because they know after the fall, whenever they got stuck in that 5 to 8 range, they were guaranteed to stay in that 5 to 8 range. They want to be in that guaranteed 1 to 4 range, even if it's the 4th seed. Because once they make the playoffs, that guarantees them into 1 to 4, unless the format's changed. I could be wrong about that. But if it's staying the same as it was in the fall, which I believe it is, then even if you go in as the 4th seed into the playoffs, as long as you perform well on land, you could easily take that 1 seed right back.
Yeah, and I could very easily see them getting into that 4 seed as long as they keep it clean, playing against some of these lower ranked teams. I mean, yeah, I would love to see them take a shot at Winthrop. Winthrop or Charlotte, I think, would be the 2 matchups that I'd really like to see them take a crack at. But I think we're gonna have to wait a couple weeks for one of those. But those are ones that I would personally love to see on stream. Oh, it sounds like we're getting an interview with Fatu in a couple minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with that interview. Stay tuned for more Rocket League.
It's all you get when you moved around. Yeah, that's where it all failed. Go to the ground, babe. And you like to move in silence, baby. So do I. This could either be hell or a paradise. Talking to your friends, baby. So do I. About you, we both know it's too late. Forgot I lied to you. We both know it's too late. I forgot I lied to you. Yeah. Who said we can't forget even if it don't last? Baby, when I get up in it, you forget the past. I'll make sure to cut all of the strings that get attached. And you make sure to call me every time you want me back. I love the way you say my name. I make me feel so Medicare. I love the way you say my name. You like to move in silence, baby, so do I. This could either be hell or a paradise. Talking to your friends, baby, so do I. About you, we both know it's too late. I forgot I lied to you. We both know it's too late. I forgot I lied to you.
Welcome back as we now have Fatu on the desk. And Fatu, I have to say, what a dominant performance from you, Dark, and Nutella, and even Agent getting in there at the very end. I mean, just why? Like y'all did so well, but did y'all really have to do them that bad?
I mean, we just went out there and have fun, to be honest. And we got Agent in there. I don't think he's played with us for a few weeks, so we're just chilling. Going for some clips too.
Yeah, clearly you were. You get that big win against number 16. Is there any team that you're looking ahead to later on in the season, a team that you really want to take a stab at, see someone that you think you can take down that you might be below in the seedings right now?
We already took down Clemson. I think they were fifth. Or no, they were third and we were fifth. But I want to play against I forgot who was number 1. Whoever they were, we lost them in
South
week
Carolina.
1.
South Carolina.
Yeah, we lost them in week 1, and but we didn't have Nutella, so we still kept the games close. It was me, Agent, and Dark. So I want to try that again. I think
you will get your shot back at them whenever LAN rolls around. Tell me a little about your subs that you've been playing with. How do those B team guys seem, as they might be moving up onto the A team in the next couple of years as people graduate? How have you seen their development over the past little bit?
They've been doing good. Like Dark was on the B team first semester, and now he's on our A team, and we're doing better with him. So, it's been looking good, to be honest.
Very nice, very nice. Good to hear.
Y'all, like I said, y'all are doing insane. Y'all have been doing good so far. I believe that now makes y'all 4-1, like you said, with your only loss being to that South Carolina roster in the first week without one of your main star players in Nutella. And speaking of Nutella, how has the connection between y'all two been? Because obviously I've known y'all for a long time, ever since I left UNCG and y'all two came by. But can you explain a little bit more about how deep y'all's connection really is on the pitch? Because it just looks like y'all are such in a flow state more than anything whenever y'all two are playing with each other.
We do our best whenever we're just going out there and we're just having fun and chilling. I knew him since high school because he was in my high school league, so that's where I kind of met him. And me and one of our other friends convinced him to come here. So I like playing with him. I think he thinks the same with me.
I guarantee you he does, Fatu. I guarantee you he does. But like I said, dominant win today, 17-0 on goals, a perfect sweep. Couldn't have asked for a better game from y'all. And congrats once again, Fatu, on such a dominant win against the Pirates as you look forward to moving on to next week and hopefully getting higher up in the playoffs and seeding.
Yes, sir.
Right. Well, that is it from Fatu and us until we come back with our next matchup. That will be NC State, which I believe is the 7th seed right now, versus Coastal Carolina, the 2 seed, the only team other than South Carolina to remain undefeated so far this season. So can the Wolfpack chomp down on the Coastal Carolina University? What is it?
Chanticleers.
Chanticleers. I keep forgetting because it's such a weird name. But the Chanticleers, can they hold on to this win against the Wolfpack, or will the Wolfpack end up upsetting a 4-0 team? Guess we'll have to wait and find out. Make sure to come back within the next couple minutes. We'll see you there.
Buy myself another bottle, I don't even check the price. Black jacket on me, looking cute, make sure she looking twice. I don't even wanna go out. It's still cold even when I'm out the house. She wanna play house, what you talking about? I wanna stay out, and I'm just talking out loud. Cigarette the wrong way round. Wake up and I'm upside down, yeah. Well, it's just the way it goes. She like her like glamorous and it's just the way it goes. Now we at the hotel, wanna take off her clothes. I'm hoping she won't tell cause I wanna lay low. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. so nice to me, but I know her heart is froze. My shit's so righteous, but I know it's the life she chose. Now we in the VIP, so don't you get too close. She wants a weed for me, I need to get my dose. And I got myself too far, top of the Uber, there relax. She calling me, hit me up, I'm telling her, bitch, relax. Cause I'm throwing up in the sink right now. Wake up and I'm upside down. Well, it's just the way it goes. She like her look glamorous and it's just the way it goes. Now we at the hotel, wanna take off her clothes. I'm hoping she won't talk cause I wanna lay low. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. She like her look glamorous and it's just the way it goes. Now we at the hotel, wanna take off her clothes. I'm hoping she won't talk cause I wanna lay low. It's just the way it goes.
Boy, on a real hesitation creeping in. But you look so good and I know what you're offering. Phone's lighting up, but I'm just gonna let it ring. Yeah, my phone's lighting up, but I'm just gonna let it ring. Is it the liquor in my system? My desire's not so real. Got me caught up in this rhythm. Draw me in and make me feel. Draw me in and make me feel. Draw me in and make me feel.
Moving original, bending in rhyme.
Welcome back, everybody, to our final matchup of the night. NC State versus Coastal Carolina. This should be a banger of a matchup, as we've had 2 of our matchups be best of 5s go all the way. And then as soon as me and Sticks hop on the desk, then we had a 3-0 sweep for Greensboro. And a perfect sweep it was. So hopefully, Sticks, we can see a different result other than a sweep. But, I mean, you never know. Things happen.
Yeah, I would love to see a game go to at least a game 4. That would truly make my night, but not my night. That would that's a little
Shout out to you, Nate Dogg.
Yeah, shout out Nate Dogg, big Nate Dogg, big Nate Dogg supporters over here.
Yeah,
but yeah, we got a really interesting one here tonight. NC State taking on Coastal Carolina. This is one where if you just look at it on paper, you think Coastal Carolina is probably going to take this one. But I think both of us have a differing opinion on this game. I think we're both going NC State here. Can you tell me a little bit why we're both thinking this?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Coastal Carolina is the only other team other than South Carolina to be undefeated this season so far. Currently 12-4 in games and 4-0 in series. So again, on paper, you would think this is the team to beat. But we look at their wins. First week, Game 5 win against Asheville, who is currently 3-2 after their sweep on Elon tonight. And then after that, it's just every single team they've beaten past that point has been under 500 on the entire season so far. Either 1-3 teams or like 0-4. Well, NC State, they've had insanely good wins. They might be lower on the scoreboard technically, but I just have a strong feeling that the series score for their matchups, the way that they're ranked so far, really doesn't matter, because NC State, this is a team that has known to be able to pull off upsets, while Coastal Carolina, I'm going to be honest, this is their first real matchup, their first threat at getting their first loss this season.
Yeah, this was something that Colson and I were talking about in the Greensboro game, and we might be seeing it here again tonight. We talked about how Clemson had been untested so far, and UNCG came out hot, got on top of them early, and picked up the upset. Here this time, NC State starting off hot, top corner shot coming out.
I don't know if anyone in the chat can see that, but a 6-7 has come out from Rocket, so already getting the good vibes going for the Wolfpack here. As,
is this what Colson teaches them?
I don't know. Colson is in the chat. Colson, can we get a confirmation? Do you teach them 6-7 and Brain Rot? Is that why they're playing better nowadays?
We're going to have to get confirmation on that one.
I wouldn't doubt it. Colson probably come in here like, yeah, guys, if y'all get your skibbities and your 6-7s ready, like, I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. I feel like I'm running my own brain.
I was really hoping we got like a peak shot right as you said that, so it's a forever immortalized in the montages, and we're gonna have to work that into some hype video before LAN. Unfortunately, no one else on the field thinks that my idea is very funny. No one wants to score, but Rocket, he's looking for the drop down pass. It's gonna be taken away, and NC State really stabilized here with this 1-0 lead. It's just a minute and a half into game number 1, feeling confident. This is exactly what we want to see out of them. This is what we saw last week. They took the first game against Lander, but this one looks a little bit different. That win against Lander seemed to be a bit of overconfidence coming out of Lander. They overcommitted a whole bunch of times, and NC State kind of picked up a couple of counterattack goals. This has been nothing of the sort. Rocket has another opportunity on net, but it's going to be saved away by Baby Yoda. Now Ventus off the ceiling. He's going for the musty towards the backboard. Who's there to follow it? Nobody. Maple gonna be having an interesting touch as Landon gonna get the touch over. Rocket now, double tap opportunity. He's gotta find the double. Low altitude shot finds its way through.
And just Landon being left all alone on the back line. Maple gets a good 50, and Rocket realistically could have put it on target, but it decided to go the little fancy route, get that little extra touch off the backboard to, make his appeal to the crowd look a little bit better. But I've been seeing NC State, this Wolfpack roster has been putting in the work on their own time. I've seen them in my own twos lobbies, which to anyone that doesn't know, I play in SSL lobbies now. So like, cause you might think like,
little flax.
No, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just like, I could be saying that I could be like in gold for all, like, so I want to be
and if anyone's curious about what lobbies I'm in, really casually like 1400 to 1500. So I also have a great eye for what these players are all doing.
Yeah, but I mean, these players overall, though, in general, from what I've seen from NC State, they have been putting in work. They are trying to prove themselves that they aren't just a team that can barely slip into these lane environments. They want to prove that they are a team that can come in and dominate. Like we said with Greensboro last series, Greensboro was a team that came into that 5-8 because of the path they had to take, and they lost because of the hard round they had to put themselves through in group stages and in the playoffs against a red-hot Clemson team that ended up coming 3rd place. But right now, they have just looked so good. Another shot, bottom left, just pins it right in between two Coastal Carolina players and NC State. I mean, I really don't want to see a rerun of what Greensboro just did. But, like, so far, never mind. I say something, and finally we get a goal from the other side.
Yeah, Landon going to pick this one in up off the kickoff. Insane hard cheats coming out of both teams. Just sneaks under the crossbar. Got to pick one back up. Lead cut down to 2. Coastal Carolina's got a little bit of life here in game number 1. Still plenty of time left to go. See if they can pick up another one off the kickoff here. Landon got to pop it up. All it's going to be is Ventus. Push this one up towards the ceiling, and NC State trying to establish control in the midfield. That's a good bump out of Ventus. Going to force Landon to not be able to follow that ball. That one just off target. Going to cause a bit of a reaction out of Baby Yoda, but Coastal's still not looking confident on their back line, still looking a little bit confused on what exactly is going on. I don't think they were expecting this much shell shock here in game number 1.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, like I said, the first opponent that is going to give them a rough time. And don't get me wrong, Asheville did take them to 5, so it definitely gave them a rough time there. But this is a whole new level, I feel like, going into this. Because like I said, NC State is playing here with something to prove with these last upcoming weeks, because they also want to finish in that 1-4. Realistically, every team does. But NC State, they felt like they've been disrespected. They feel like they're a better team than people credit them for. And the man that I look out for mostly on this Wolfpack roster, because all 3 of them play well, but that man Rocket right there, the one that just got the demo, that dude has been such a stud so far for this NC State roster. As he rockets one into the net. I mean, speak it into existence and it shall happen. A pass goes up from Ventus off the demo from Rocket, and all he has to do is send that one home.
Yeah, Ventus being a little bit of a nuisance there in the net, goes harassing the goalie, just trying to get in his face and make him get pushed off the line. That's enough for Rocket to slot that one in the top shelf. And, I mean, NC State has just come out firing on all cylinders. All the mechanics are there. The passing plays are there. They're linking up in perfect synergy. And Coastal Carolina just looks like they don't know what to do about it.
Just lost on the field, and fortunately for them, there are no maps available to find their way home. As another shot goes on target, but ends up going over the crossbar off a diving save from Coastal Carolina. 30 seconds remain, and they are still down by 3, maybe 4 if that shot goes on, but Maple not able to put it into the corner as it gets saved by the woodwork once again. Rocket tries to get pressure back onto the other half, but Baby Yoda says no as he keeps denying over and over again. Gets right into the hands of Rain, or excuse me, I'm not too sure how to say his name. I could be very wrong about that.
Yeah, that one's been tripping me up too.
Yeah, if anyone knows how to pronounce his name in the chat, then I would appreciate it, because I feel kind of wrong calling him the wrong thing. But maybe another goal for good luck going into the next matchup. But unfortunately, that is going to end game number 1 for NC State. As we said, it is a upset watch here, and so far, it has looked strongly in favor of the Wolfpack after game 1.
Yeah, I mean, big performance here from Rocket. 2 goals off 4 shots, and Maple as well. Both of them putting up a couple of numbers. Ventus just kind of being the facilitator there, picking up 2 assists, not really doing too much on the attacking side. But, you know, they're out shooting Coastal Carolina, I mean, 10-4 it looks like. So out shooting by almost 100, actually no more than 100%. They're pretty much doubling them up on the shots. That's kind of what you're going to see whenever you have a team that's just being so dominant in a game like this. What I'm really looking for Coastal here is a bit of a stabilization in the second game. We saw NC State come out hot against Lander. It really helped them out, but then they kind of fell off the wagon as the series kept going. This is where we really get to see if Coastal is going to be able to compete here, or if this is going to be a one-sided series.
Yeah. And it's crazy you say that about a one-sided series, because yes, NC State won 4-1, but you want to know an even crazier statistic, even though it was a 4-1 and it looked like it was all Wolfpack? The ball possession, from what it says on my stat sheet, was completely 50-50. So believe it or not, it was 50-50 for both sides, meaning it was very equal in how it was handled on each side of the field, because it did look like Coastal Carolina was able to produce a lot more pressure than we saw from like last series per se. But it still didn't feel like they were doing anything with that pressure that they were gaining. It's like they were trying to throw pop shot after pop shot, hoping NC State would be too flustered to make a save, but you just can't expect that with a roster who has become so veteran in their own degrees, where they're just now making plays.
Pass.
Just
Oh my
like that.
gosh.
I mean, you just cannot make this up. What a play from the 1 to the 2. Maple has to back out. Ventus is reading that one, and Rocket sends another one. What a laser to go through.
I mean, that is picture perfect placement. 3 defenders in net. None of them could get a hand up in time. It pinches off the crossbar with the defender, and Rocket's got himself another goal in this series. I mean, as you were saying, that 50-50 time of possession, it really goes to show that the quality of that possession is really what matters. As that one, you'd think it could go either way, but I mean, I don't think it ever looked like it could have gone Coastal's way. I mean, NC State looked to be in control that entire game.
As they say, quality over quantity. You want the best out of your players rather than how much you can put on, unless maybe one goes here for Coastal Carolina, but unfortunately for the Chanticleers, as I believe I pronounced that right. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
You nailed it. I mean, I'm
nailed
a
it?
South
Okay.
Carolina guy. You nailed it.
I'm glad. Okay, I'm getting it down. But unfortunately for them, that one not able to go through, and they'll be trying to see if they can keep this press on the orange half, as it looks like they're finally getting things together. But unfortunately for them, NC State is still finding a way out time after time.
Yeah, this one could be an opportunity here for Baby Yoda. Not going to be able to find it. Can't quite win the race. Landon goes up off the backboard. Now Maple got to get beat out. Ventus, he's also going to get beat out. That's an awkward spot off the backboard. The shot comes in by a Coastal Carolina player. I still do not know what the name is there.
Do we call him Ran, maybe? Like RX, and I feel like maybe RX? Yeah, just RX. We'll call him
good
RX.
RX,
I feel
like the drug company? Is that what it is?
I don't know. This is no disrespect to his name whatsoever. It's just that I've never seen a name where, like, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I apologize.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I mean,
creative. Oh,
well, NC State
it
just
was
gets one
short-lived.
of them. Yeah. I mean, Coastal Carolina, they've shown that they can put plays together, but an overcommit there just leaves NC State a free net, and you can't be doing that if you're the Chanticleers. I mean, NC State is a team that dominates. They thrive on those passing plays. They thrive on their counterattacks. They thrive on being able to get up in your face and show you that they know how to take possession. And Coastal Carolina is sending all three that basically is saying, hey, we don't care that, you're good at keeping possession. We're going to take our own risk. But again, it's a risk for a reason. It's high risk, high reward. And right now they are getting no reward off of that.
Rocket looking so threatening every time he goes up in the air. This one, a pass out midfield. Rocket gonna take the shot. It's at the back post. Just as you say his name, he shows up on the scoreboard. 2 goals for Rocket already.
Like, one more goal happens, he get a hat trick, and then we'd be calling Bloody Mary. Right now, Rocket is just sending him home left and right. He's just always in the right spot, and his teammates trust him enough to dime him up in the middle. It's such a well-drawn play that it just feels like, if you've ever played any sports games, like, say, for example, Madden, and like that one play that just works really well and your opponent just keeps doing it to you over and over again because you just don't know how to defend it, that's exactly what it feels like NC State's doing. They just have the ball on the sidewall or somewhere near that edge, and then they see Rocket in the middle, and they're like, here you go, here's the lob, shoot it, and he just puts it right on.
Can I admit something slightly embarrassing?
What's up?
The last time I played Madden, I was playing on the Wii. And my friend ran a QB sneak from the 40-yard line on me and scored a touchdown.
Oh no, I feel so bad for both that and for the fact that Coastal Carolina just missed a wide open net. And I'm getting confirmation in the chat that RX goes actually by A to B, going by the end of his name. So we'll just call him A to B, I guess. So
all right,
I think
creative.
That's fair.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. I kind of like it though. We'll see how that one rolls off the tongue as we continue into this series. Is Baby Yoda got to try to find his clear out. A to B. Puts that one from A to B off the sidewall. Ventus going to pick that up and try to find a way out middle. He's going to put it up over the top. Can he find the bump? Maple doesn't need to have a bump. He's going to slot that one at the back post past A to B. And, I mean, it's all Wolfpack here in game number 2.
And the Chanticleers got to be careful because right now they are on fraud alert. I know a lot of people have been making fun of other teams for it, but this team specific Like I said, every single team they have won against, except for the very first week in Asheville, who are currently technically over 500, has been under 500. So this is a team that has a lot to prove against another team that has been doing really well this season in the Wolfpack. And right now, it just seems like they can't find any answers. They get it down onto the half of that orange side, but it just goes right back into the hands of the Wolfpack because their defense has been stout. They're sitting on the back line playing patient. We see a shot go on, but again, Maple holds his line. He plays it well, and a diving save denies another opportunity for Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, NC State's defense has not been flawless so far, but they're doing just enough to keep Coastal out of the net. Rocket now up off the ceiling, going to play that down to the corner. Ventus tries to win the 50. Can't find the bump on the last. Ooh, I got hiccups. You got to take over. Hang on.
You are all good. Get those hiccup out, as we might see a hiccup here from the NC State defense. We do indeed. Landon getting one back onto the board for Coastal Carolina as he gets it past one, takes his time. And like I said, Ventus and NC State has done well at being patient on their back line, but there he wasn't patient enough. Landon reads that one fully through, and that's going to be another goal going to Coastal Carolina as they finally are showing some life with a minute remaining, but they still have to get those 2 goals to even have a chance at winning this game and sending it to overtime.
So I have some upsetting news. Colson apparently is trolling us, and he has no idea. He made that up.
Yeah, it was Nezra. Nezra was the one who said A to B first. So unless Nezra is lying, because Colson was trying to, Colson said that his name was RXNM, and I'm like, we already saw that in the first place. But yes, we will call him A to B for now. And currently, Ventus is just putting shot a pass from his teammate to B in the back of the net. Maple, a great read onto the back line. Ventus just what an angle. Langdon cannot reach that. And a shot, a goal. How else can you say it for NC State? That's all it's been this game in the series so far.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels good to be right whenever you make a bold prediction like this. I feel this wasn't as bold as it may have looked on paper. Maple. That's a sweet double right there.
Sticks, we're bad luck. I genuinely think we're bad luck on the casting booth. I mean, we had McMaster and Colson online, and it was both Game 5s. They had a Game 5 OT against Clemson and UNC Charlotte, and now we hop on. Ventus said he's 15-50 right now, so he's making a statement showing that, yeah, even though he's in lower lobbies, he's still being able to put himself out there and makes plays. And I think he's trying to point that directly about saying I've seen them play. I don't think I've seen Ventus in specific, but I know I have seen at least like Maple or Rocket whenever they've been queuing with one of their friends. So
yeah, I mean, at least this Maple is doing better than the Canadian hockey team. You see that gold medal game? I mean, that was a
no, that is a call out and a half to all of Canada. I do apologize, but in other words, Hugh Freebird. But what a win for NC State. Once again, a 3-goal win in game number 1, now to a 4-goal win in... yeah, but the ball possession still very close.
That's how we say that?
You said, wait, Rin? It's pronounced Rin. Okay, well, we will call him Rin from now on.
I'm going to be honest, that was my, 8th guess.
Yeah, I would have said Ran, maybe I was thinking ramen for some reason.
I thought it was ramen too. I'm gonna be honest.
But NC
Ren
State
short for Ricky.
Win.
None of this makes sense.
Okay, I don't know what to be more confused by: the fact that Coastal Carolina isn't really showing up as much as they should be, or the fact that this dude's name just does not match up with what it shows on the screen. But trying to finish this out, NC State has been putting on a clinic, like you said. 2 goals from each of the players on NC State, looking to continue this dominance. And it just feels like Coastal Carolina, they are trying to get out onto that orange half. They are trying to create as much offensive pressure as possible. But NC State has just done so well at controlling the midfield and controlling their backline as well. Even when the pressure hits, they do not let it phase them one bit. They have had so many saves, so much ball possession, but right now the Chanticleers got to find a way through because this is their last chance. They need to save their wins here. They got to get 3 in a row if they want to stay undefeated on the season, or else that fraud alert is going to be ringing heavy in their ears.
Yeah, and I think the first step is going to have to be getting through Rocket. Maybe while everybody scored last game, you look at it, Rocket still had 100% goal participation, had 2 goals of his own, and still assisted the other 4. So, I mean, while he may not be putting him in, he's still absolutely the catalyst for this Wolfpack team. Gonna have to look to him as the, kind of the make or break point here for Coastal. They're gonna have to find a way to shut him down here in game number 3, but I'm not even sure it's possible.
Coastal Carolina, I was about to say they need to start getting more aggressive, getting those demos challenging earlier, as we saw a demo there from Landon. Great diving save on the backline, even with low boost. It looks like they're getting aggressive, but maybe a little too aggressive, as Ren there ends up double committing with Baby Yoda. A mistouch in the corner for Rocket. Ventus gets bumped, and now Coastal Carolina showing life. They're getting aggressive. They're making these plays. It doesn't look like they're just aimlessly wandering around the field. It looks like they're finally getting something through. But is it too late, Sticks, or do you think that this might be where they start getting that momentum back in their favor?
This game has seemed a lot more back and forth. Landon goes up off the backboard. Ventus backflip on the goal line. The shot from Ren is off target. Felt like the opportunity here for the Chanticleers, but it goes just off to the wayside. They can't be throwing away opportunities like that here in a must-win game to keep their undefeated hopes alive. Here going to be another opportunity. Baby Yoda puts it at the front post. Ventus saves it off the post.
And Coastal Carolina showing some fighting spirit, as we see again, first main diving quick. They are giving no space to the Wolfpack, but the Wolfpack still finding ways to get back and make these diving saves, even with Zero. Rocket on Zero gets that touch through. Landon cuts with Zero himself. Ren waiting behind in order to take. He goes for a shot, but it's too weak. Ventus now clears it up, tries to take control. Ends up taking it to the sidewall to bait out Landon. Landon now in an awkward spot, forced to back off as he has one on the backboard, one playing low. Ren tries to go out quick, but Baby Yoda there for the read. Again, another shot might go through. Rocket tries to get the fake. Landon is popped up. It might be an awkward situation for the Chanticleers, but luckily for Ren, he's able to get that clear out. And NC State are showing signs of pressure, but it goes right back onto their half. And the Chanticleers, again, showing as much life as they can, but they are barely breathing.
Yeah, both teams having a couple real close calls on the back end. Really going to need to make sure they clean it up here as we're halfway through this game number 3. A must-win game for Coastal. Keep their hopes alive. Gonna have to clean it up on the offensive end too, as this one falls to Rocket. A demo on the backline by Ventus, but a huge 50 from Landon shuts down the opportunity. Now Maple getting challenged. This one gets popped up over the goal line. Ventus now pushing out towards the corner, only gonna get as far as Ren. Ren drops it down. Rocket has to make a touch off the crossbar, and he does well with it. This one now falling into the opposite corners. Baby Yoda, a good double tap around the corner, drops it down. No one there to take the shot. Landon turned too far wide, and it's going to be Rocket in transition back the other way.
Again, just so much pressure here for both sides. I haven't really seen a midfield battle. It's either it gets banged down on the one side and one side has to make that diving effort on the back line, or just the complete opposite for the other way. Right now, the midfield has been almost non-existent as it just keeps get thrown back and forth onto that defensive end. And right now, Landon going to be looking to try to get the goal scoring started here for the Chanticleers, as we see another clear out from NC State, but Ren able to get that turn. Baby Yoda's there on the sidewall. He's not challenging, though, on a free ball. Just another mistake that could have led to a counterattack, but it gets right back into the hands of NC State, who's able to keep it on this blue half. Landon tries to take control, gets cut off in the midfield. Now he's just taking his time, but a bump comes out from Ventus. Ventus trying to get the fakes, maybe another bump on the back line, but unfortunately for him, not able to find anything, and Rocket ends up clearing it away.
And now going to try to pick this one up, stall out the offense, but low boost for everybody on Coastal. He gets bumped out of net. Ren going to have to make a diving touch to make sure that ball stays clear of the line. But the attack not over yet for NC State. Landon trying to find a way out, but Rocket now, he's got a lot of boost to work with. Up off the sidewall, trying to get up over top of Ren. Ren almost gets bumped off the ball by Ventus. Got to give Baby Yoda an opportunity here. Got to try to push it up over Maple. Got to get all the way back through to the corner. Rocket, good touch. Leaves us to Ren. Landon now takes control up the sidewall. Got 30 boost still in the tank. Tries to push it over one. It's going to be off target. Ventus almost ends up own goaling that one. Luckily, keeps it just wide. Now Maple, wave dash to get around the ball. Pops it high. Ran off the ceiling. A big beat from Baby Yoda. Could be an opportunity, but he's not fast enough to it. Ventus going to carry it all the way back. Baby Yoda now tries to find the drop down. Landon with the fake. Fakes out two of the NC State players, but the third was not fooled, as this ball just has hit the ground. We will have at least an overtime here tonight.
Coastal Carolina has had so many opportunities, more than both games combined, I feel like, at this point. but it just feels like they cannot find the back of the net. Every shot that they take, it's either there's an NC State defender on the back line already ready for it, or they just can't put the shot on target. A good demo there, but no second man to follow for Coastal Carolina. Landon now getting bumped in the corner, but able to he gets the boost star, but still gets bumped away. So Rocket ends up saving what could have been a shot opportunity, and now it goes the other way for Maple. Baby Yoda has to collect it on the sidewall, and he does. Gets a 50 on the corner, but it goes backwards as Rocket makes a missed touch, and he gets a bump on Ventus. Now it's a 2v1 situation as Maple having to rush back and get into that back post, but again, Coastal Carolina with all the pressure so far, the ball possession is still basically 50-50 at this point, but Coastal Carolina looking so much more dominant than the last two games. They're holding on, but you got to ask again, can they find one through, or is NC State just going to find one themselves off of some mistake that we've seen so far?
Oh, Baby Yoda almost catches them with their hand in the cookie jar there. That one going to get pinched all the way back. Ventus luckily had to rotate all the way back for boost. That's a missed touch out of Rocket at the midfield, but no one from Coastal Carolina able to really capitalize on it. Now Maple up over one. That ball is going to get all the way to Baby Yoda on the goal line. Now Rocket off the corner. Ventus takes a shot. It's over Landon, and NC State polishes off the sweep with a beautiful infield pass from Rocket.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, they just got their momentum too little too late. You saw them starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together. They started realizing what was going wrong. NC State started looking super awkward where they were stuck on their defensive end for more than we've seen this entire series. But it just felt like every single opportunity that Coastal Carolina would get, they just didn't know what to do with it. It's as simple as that. You have to be able to capitalize on your opportunities when they are given to you. Any single missed opportunity, no matter how wide open it is, that single opportunity can cause you to lose a game, and we saw it there. They had time after time again. The bumps came through. The passes were on point. The solo plays could have definitely gone through, but NC State just held on the back line, and they would make those diving saves, or the shot would just be a little too wide on what was an open net, and NC State comes away scratching and clawing their way in this game 3, but still get the sweep to call for it.
NC State shows up and does exactly what they wanted to do. Got out a hold of CCU. Oh, Ventus is gonna grill us here. I can already see it from the chat. He's gonna get on us for my mistake there. I did not properly give Ventus his flowers in game 2. I mistakenly read that Rocket had 100% goal participation. It was actually Ventus in that second game, but I think that's really indicative of how the series has gone. NC State, everybody was getting involved. All three of them just having full control of the offensive half. But I think we're going to get someone in our call real soon. I think we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with an interview with Ventus. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back as we are here with Ventus after a dominant performance for NC State, getting the upset win technically over the second seed Coastal Carolina, handing them their first loss of the season. And I have to ask you, Ventus, how does it feel to be their first loss of the season?
You know, it feels pretty good. I mean, we had a LAN event last weekend. We did not do nearly as well as we wanted to. So I think this is kind of like a statement game, I mean, we all kind of gelled together. We talked about what went wrong in the last LAN. I think we cleaned it up a lot. And I think this was just kind of like we needed to come out and play really well. And I think we did exactly that. I thought we played really well as a team. We were outspeeding a lot. And I mean, like you said, we just played really well.
Yeah, I mean, you pick up a big win right here. How much does your team chemistry really play into you guys' play style? I know all three of you in that game too. Each one of you picking up 2 goals. I mean, we could really see that you guys were just gelling as a team a little bit more than your opponent. Can you go into how you guys really, work on your team chemistry?
Yeah, so that's one thing that I personally work on a lot is I know that in this series specifically, I think I had 8 or 9 assists. And so one of the things that I really strive to do is get my team incorporated, really kind of feed them the rock. Rocket is so good when he gets the ball in his hands, so I kind of give him the ball as much as I can. Same thing with Maple. I mean, Maple is kind of like the unsung third of our team, I think. But I mean, he still makes some great plays. He's so fast on the ball, and I mean, sometimes he gets a little too-brained. But I mean, when he's meshing with us, I mean, I think this team is going to be one of the best, almost like a dark horse going into the LAN event.
Well, I mean, if you think you're a dark horse, is there any team that you're looking at in the next couple weeks where you're really circling that game and you're like, I think this is the one where we're really going to prove that we're here to play, that we can compete for one of those top 4 teams? Is there any team that you kind of got your eye on that you really want to take down?
Well, I think we're scrimming UNC Charlotte this week. I would say them. I think that they are one of the top teams. We obviously got eliminated by them last tournament, so maybe it's a little grudge match per se. I want to come out and just beat them. But we don't play them in the regular season, so I'm hoping that I get my chance at LAN to kind of show what this team can do. I think that we've obviously made a lot of strides, and there's some up and downs going on, but I think Charlotte's one of the big ones I want to play, and I think USC is the other one. I mean, they're the top dogs, but I mean, if I'm talking about us being a dark horse, we need to be able to come out and beat them, and so I'm hoping that we can show that we can.
Yeah, I was about to say, going back on your LAN performance, because I remember being there for that. Y'all were a dark horse nonetheless. I mean, y'all were the very bottom seed going to that, I believe, or one of the bottom seeds. So obviously, people overlooked you guys. They didn't think much, and I've seen a lot of improvement over so far. It shows that y'all been putting in that work. And like I said in the stream, you were playing obviously, so I didn't expect you to hear it. But there was a time in game number 2 where it just felt like all y'all would do, which it would work, is just be on that sidewall and just realize like you have a man in the middle. Usually it was Rocket, and you just throw it in the middle, and then they just score. As like feels like a Madden play where your opponent abuses one play over and over again, and the defense just has no clue what to do, so it just works every time. Is that kind of just how it feels whenever y'all are able to connect? Just like y'all can basically do whatever you want, or even if it's the same play and it just feels like it will go through almost every single time?
Yeah, I mean, when we're on, like, I was feeling really confident in my team. Sometimes when we're making some more mistakes and stuff, I play a little bit more reserved. But I mean, in game 1, like, you could tell I was confident. I was coming out and I was like going for musty double taps off the backboard and leaving it for passes to my teammates, and they were following it up, really being there for me. So I'm like, I'm not really known for being a super mechanical player, but when I'm feeling so confident that I'm going for these reset musty doubles, and I have so much faith that my team's going to be there for the follow up, and I'm going to get the beats on the players. I mean, it's a really good feeling. I think that we play. I mean, I keep saying like when we're playing on. I just hope that we can get more consistent. I think that's the biggest thing with this team. If I had to put a knock on it, we have our ups and downs, and I think that you saw a very good showing. We've had a showing on C3 earlier where we did not look at all like a team, and so it's kind of just that process going into it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I love just being able to pass to my teammates. you know, I was definitely abusing that off the sidewall, just dishing it to my team and just kind of getting a good pass there. It's one of the things that I've worked on countless hours, especially recently, because my team loves to just stay in that midfield, be that second man that plays a little bit close. And so when you just kind of get a really good touch that's strong but right to your teammate, and they have so much ability to do with it, I've worked, I think honestly this is going to be a lot, but I worked like 20 hours straight in the last week on just that kind of touch to try to get it perfectly into the midfield where I know my teammates normally stand. So it's just kind of like that dedication and time to just like improving in that. And that being said, that might be why I'm 1550 right now. That, you know, I know that I queued against you a little earlier in the season, Skyline. We were both up at like 1800, 1850, but I mean, I might be down in the depths right now, but
You're getting close to my levels. Jeez.
but I mean, you know, that's twos. I'm a better threes player. That's the moral of the story.
Hey, I mean, you can never count yourself out because we saw you have some insane plays, especially that skim touch in game 2. I remember calling that out. That was such a beauty that you had. But yeah, a well-deserved win. And like I said, we'll be looking out for y'all on LAN because so far, if you stay consistent, because good consistency leads to great results. And so far, that has been putting into fruition for you guys. So hopefully it remains that way. But until the time comes to where y'all see if y'all can get y'all's revenge against some of these teams, we'll have to wait and see. But until next time, that was Ventus from NC State, and that will do it here for us on the desk for C3. I have been Skyline. I have been joined by Sticks. We have had an amazing time casting these past 2 matches, and I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all night. But until next week, we will see y'all later.